to present this outstanding School of the Year award to Nigeria Totally International Colleges. I just need some space. Africa Brass Studio is a company registered in Nigeria and America to comment on the performance of brands in Africa.
If you are able to fix the element of humans by educating the humans from the grassroots, we will be able to fix all the problems in the world.
Right now, they talk but I don't hear sound. Just in the one billboard now. Hot boy, they don't wanna get down. Get down, no, they can't get me down. I talked to God just now, he told me, boy, go make me proud. So I can't get down.
It's an improvement for NTIC.
We got a special feeling to show you how the world is developing and NTIC is not being left behind.
These provide different opportunities for students, the conference hall for different teachers, the VR place especially for science and for biology to see the different anatomy.
This Innovatic is a new beautiful place. It's an improvement for NTIC.
We got a special feeling to show you how the world is developing and NTIC is not being left behind.
These provide different opportunities for students, the conference hall for different teachers, the VR place especially for science and for biology to see the different anatomy.
This Innovatic is a new beautiful place.
My name is Chioma Ajunwa.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think we should begin the program. We've waited long enough, right? So may I plead with those of us sitting at the back to please cover up the front seats so that those who come later can occupy the vacant seats. Thank you for your cooperation. Thank you. Thank you. May I please request that we cover up the front seats once again, please? Thank you. So we begin right away. Good morning, our dear parents, dedicated staff, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to our annual parenting conference, where we'll delve into the joys and challenges of raising children. Today we unite to share knowledge, support, and encouragement on this incredible journey. Let's embark on this adventure together, ready to learn, grow, and celebrate the art of parenting. My name is Esther Dibal, a staff of NTIC at Abuja Girls Section, and I'll be your host for this event together with
my humble self, Ms. Gloria Onyeka. You're highly welcome.
Together, we'll be guiding you through this enriching experience. So take a deep breath, embrace the moment, and let's make the most of our time together. You're welcome once again. Good afternoon. So without further ado,
Once again, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you're highly welcome to NTIC. We are glad to have you. Thank you all for coming to share this time with us. Right about now, we're going to be calling on our parents for the opening prayers. For the Christian prayers, I want to be calling on Mrs. Uchendu Winifred. Please, Ma, are you here? Please, can we clap for her as she comes on stage? Also on the list to take the prayers will be one of our Muslim parents, in the person of Mr. Suleiman Yahaya. Please, can we clap for him? Sir, are you here? Oh, okay. You're welcome, Ma.
Good morning, parents and teachers. Shall we pray? In Jesus' name. Father, we thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for bringing us here safely today. As we participate in this great occasion and event, take charge, Lord. Let everything at the end, let the glory be to you alone in Jesus' name. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, ma'am.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We pray to God for guidance for this program that we're about to start. With that, I'm going to recite Surah Al-Fatiha, which means the opening. It should be an opening for all of us as parents and guidance as well. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. May Allah put barakah in this guidance. Thank you.
Please a round of applause for them, for those wonderful prayers. Right about now, we're going to be taking the national anthem. And so please permit me to ask us all to be on our feet as we stand at attention to take the national anthem. The national anthem, please.
Nigeria's call of
take our seats. We welcome you once again to this auspicious event. In no particular order, we will be recognizing some members of the high table and special guests. We welcome all our parents from co-ed, boys section, girls section, Asokoro School, all PTA excos. We recognize your presence. Online parents from Kaduna, Kano, Yobe, and Lagos, we welcome you. Also, we welcome Hajia Sani Balogun, former PTA chairperson, NTIC co-ed. Could you please stand for recognition? Thank you, Ma. The present PTA alumni chairperson, co-ed. Still the same? Okay, you're welcome, Ma. Okay.
Hajia Ahmed Rufai, the PTA Vice Chair, NTIC co-ed. We're glad to have you. Please, a round of applause for her. Thank you. Also, want to be recognizing Dr. Batlomi Ochonye, the Treasurer, PTA co-ed. Oh, he's on his way, okay. On the list here, we also have His Excellency, Ambassador Kabiru Bala. You're welcome, sir. Here we also have PTA Girls section, the PTA chairperson, and the person of Hajia Maimuna Rabiu Dabo. You're highly welcome, Ma, and our distinguished parents. As we get your names, we're going to be calling them all out. You're all welcome, and we appreciate you.
Okay, and then to those who make these kind of things happen, the management of the school, we want to recognize you. And then we begin by recognizing the managing director in the person of Mr. Faizullah Bilgin. Can we please give him a round of applause? We welcome the presence of Mr. Hachi Abi Surat. Is he around? Okay, what we're going to be doing is that in no particular order, we'll mention them even in absentia, so that when they come around, it must have been done before they arrive, so we don't have to go back and forth. Also, we welcome Mr. Yasser Abi, Group Coordinator, Surat. Please, a round of applause in absentia. Thank you. Mr. Kamil Abi, Senior Administrator, Head Office. Thank you so much for coming, sir. Mr. Mustafa Aksu Abi, HR and Marketing Head Office. Is he around? Can we recognize you, sir? Okay, thank you. Primary PTA chairperson. Yes? Okay, thank you for coming. Co-ed PTA, we've recognized that. Girls, boys PTA chairman. Okay, Asokoro parent representative from the PTA board. Is there anyone? Okay, they're yet to come. Emirad Demirci, Asokoro principal. Please recognize him and give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Okay, we have also with us Fatir Avici, primary principal. Please, a round of applause for him. With us here, we also have co-ed principal, Mr. Ramsey Abe. A round of applause for him. The girls principal, there's NTIC Abuja girls, in the person of Mr. Fevzi Abe. Please, a round of applause for him. The boys principal is also here, and the person of Mr. Roman Mamedov. A round of applause for him. We also have the head of secondary academics, and that's Mr. Edal Yumaz. Please forgive us if you don't pronounce the names correctly. Next, we have the president of Ufuk Dialogue, Mr. Emra. Is he here? All right, please let's appreciate him in absentia. We also have the vice chancellor of Philomath University with us here. His name is not here. Please, can we appreciate him? While we were taking the recognition, one of the executive members of the PTA Abuja Girls section walked in, in the person of Mrs. Mohammed Abubakar. Please, can we appreciate her? Thank you so much, Ma, for gracing this occasion with your presence.
Okay. So I think we're running very fast, and that's good for us and our time. Okay. Kabiru Bala. Yes. Okay, let us run the protocol again. We welcome Ambassador Kabiru Bala, Vice Chairperson, Abuja Girls. Thank you so much. You know, it's important that you give people their due honor, right? Yes, so thank you so much for being in our midst. We appreciate you. Okay, so we take the opening remarks right now from the MD in the person of Mr. Faizullah Bilgin. Please, I need you to give him a resounding round of applause as he comes to the stage. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. You're welcome.
Distinguished PTA chairpeople and executive members of NTIC Schools Abuja, esteemed management of Nigerian International Colleges, my esteemed sister and friend, Maimuna Ummi Abdullahi, the presenter of today from Awesome Wali Consultation, also known as Coach Didi. Distinguished teachers, parents, ladies and gentlemen, and the members of the press, good morning. We live in a decaying age. Young people no longer respect their parents. They are rude and impatient. They frequently inhabit taverns and have no self-control. These words, expressing the all too familiar contemporary condemnation of young people, were actually inscribed on a 6,000-year-old Egyptian tomb. Later, in the 4th century BC, Plato from Greece was heard to remark, what's happening to our young people? They disrespect their elders, they disobey their parents, they ignore the law, they riot in streets, inflamed with wild notions. Their morals are decaying. What is to become of them? And then, a few hundred years later, in AD 1274, Peter the Hermit joined the chorus. The young people of today think of nothing but themselves. They have no reverence for parents or old age. They are impatient of all restraint. As for the girls, they are forward, immodest, and unladylike in speech, behavior, and dress. In the current age, it appears that history is repeating itself in a cyclical fashion. Consequently, rather than restricting, denying the potential, and merely complaining about the perceived negative behavior of children, it's imperative that we actively engage and connect with them. In such a situation, ladies and gentlemen, like almost all of our here are parents, we have children. So sometimes we tell ourselves that these children are somehow, they are not good and respectful. And we blame them. Sometimes we don't understand them. Sometimes we don't actually try to understand them and reach out to them. And of course, sometimes it is the children who are really out of control, and sometimes we are not really sure which situation we are at that particular point. Sometimes we are so confused as parents. We don't know what to do, how to guide them, how to lead them. In essence, breaking the cycle of negative behavior and missed the potential requires a shift in perspective. On that emphasizes connection, understanding, and proactive engagement with the younger generation. It is through these meaningful connections that we can truly unlock the vast potential within the child and contribute to a positive and harmonious societal cycle. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure that I welcome you today to this year's Parent Conference at Nigerian Tulip International Colleges. The theme of this conference is Connect and Communicate, a roadmap to parenting success. As the Managing Director of NTIC, I'm honored to stand before you today and express my gratitude for entrusting us with the education of your children. We understand that this is a huge responsibility, and we have been working tirelessly to ensure that your children receive a well-rounded education and goes beyond academics. As I'm speaking to you, the esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are also online on YouTube and live, and also the people from different schools, from different parts of the country, they are also watching this particular conference. For example, in Kano Primary School, I have been informed that there is also a conference hall, and the parents were invited, like us here in Abuja. They are also seated, they are also watching this live conference. At Nigerian Tulip International College, we believe that education is not just about academic achievement. We are committed to producing intelligent, enlightened, and highly socialized individuals who are prepared to pursue higher education and become productive members of society. Our dedicated teachers work hard to fulfill the school's mission and vision by using innovative teaching methods and providing state-of-the-art facilities to give your children the best possible educational experience. However, we know none of this would be possible without your unwavering support and involvement in your child's education. As parents and guardians, you play a critical role in shaping the future of your children, and we are grateful for your partnership in this journey. Therefore, I encourage you to take full advantage of this conference as an opportunity to learn more on how to communicate and connect with your children better, from an expert point of view, knowing fully well that the needs of children vary. During this Parents Conference, you will have the chance to discuss your children's progress in school, address any concerns you may have, and make valuable suggestions. I want to reaffirm our commitment to the understanding performance of NTIC students' academic performance and achievements. This year's Parent Conference promises to be an informative session, and we hope that you will enjoy it. Once again, thank you for your trust and support. See you all at the end of the conference, and enjoy it.
Let's celebrate him one more time. Thank you. Thank you for the resonant and riveting speech. So we're going to have to do something again, and that's because we want to appreciate these people. So join me again in welcoming Asokoro Principal, Mrs. Saliha Yilmaz. A round of applause for her. Thank you so much for coming. Head of Marketing, Mr. Emre Demirci. Is he around? Oh, thank you so much, sir. We welcome our principals who are joining us online, principals from Kano, Kaduna, Yobe, and Lagos. Thank you for joining. We celebrate the GMD in the person of Mr. Camille Toure. You're welcome, sir. Thank you. Girls Principal, we recognize you once again, Mr. Fevzi. and the primary principal, Mr. Fati Afji, Abuja. Thank you so much. And the vice principals of various branches, we welcome you, our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. So while I was reading out these names, some of those people I called again looked at me in a way that showed she has introduced before, or they have introduced before, and we just want to reiterate our honor to you. So welcome once again. All right.
Also gracing this auspicious occasion is the technical advisor, the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, and the person of Dr. Asiya Abdullahi Umar. Please, a round of applause for him. Dr. Asiya, are you here? All right, you're welcome. All right, ma, you're welcome.
Okay. I'm going to be reading out the profile of our special guest. It's a long one, quite impressive, right? So sit tight while you read the profile of this distinguished, delectable lady. While that is happening, the refreshment will be going on. So those in charge of that, you will do us the honors of putting that in place. Okay. Maimuna Ummi Abdullahi, also known as Coach Didi. Coach Didi is a master practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, a personal development and mental health coach. She is a public relations officer, member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, Nigerian Institute of Crisis Resolution, Peace Building and Coalition, CRPC, Chartered Institute of Neuro-Linguistic Programming, ANLP UK. She holds a bachelor's degree in English language and certification in public relations and advertising. She is a certified trainer with the Nigerian Council for Management Development, NCMD, a coach, counselor, mental health first aider, performance consultant, and member, Forbes Coaches Council. Her key competencies include personal development coaching, PDC therapy, emotional intelligence, stress management, anger management, mental and health awareness and management, adverse childhood experiences, ACEs, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, substance addiction, public speaking, attitudinal and behavioral change, personal effectiveness and mentorship. Coach Didi is an optimum result coach and has facilitated trainings, workshops, retreats, coaching, and counseling sessions in both public and private sector as well as schools. She is a motivational speaker and an advocate of mental health awareness, girl-child education, and women empowerment. She speaks English, Hausa, Fulfulde, and Urdu. She is a member of Rotary International Club and Toastmasters. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot think of a better person to be our guest speaker than this beautiful, delectable, and highly intelligent lady in our midst. Can you join me in giving her a resounding welcome? A standing ovation, please. She deserves it. As a matter of fact, Ma, I want to be like you in the next 5 years, if I can. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so please sit tight and enjoy this ride with Coach Didi. I promise you that you're going to have a beautiful, engaging, and know, Etani will never forget. I can say that. I can assure you that. Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay. In order for us to enjoy this, I think that it's proper if we covered up the front seats. Please. Thank you so much. Please. Can we do that, please? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Do I still have 2 hours? Do I still have 2 hours? I know we're supposed to start by 10, so I still have 2 hours? Okay. Okay. You know, when they were reading the profile, I was wondering, who were they talking about? Does it happen to you? You know? Sometimes when I talk about parenting in school PTAs and I walk up the podium, most people go like, what is she going to talk about? You know? Please do not be deceived by my stature. Do not be deceived by my looks. I'm almost 50 years old, so I know what I'm talking about. And parenting is not just, I don't know, you know, it doesn't come with a DIY manual. Yeah, when I go down, I'm going to use it. Okay. It doesn't come with a DIY manual. I've been married 22 years, and in Nigeria we say, waiting Adamu never see forget. So coupled with that, and having 4 children, 2 in university and 2 in secondary school, I think I know a little, not much, about parenting. But I must have a disclaimer before I start. I am not standing here because I'm a perfect parent, not even close. Wallahi, not even close. I'm not standing here because I haven't made so many mistakes. I'm going to make some, I'm sure, today. I made some this morning, and I'm sure I'll make some tomorrow. So I'm not speaking from a place of expertise or excellence. I'm speaking from a place of intentional parenting. This is an avenue for us to learn, unlearn, and relearn together. Am I making sense? Fantastic. Now, anybody who knows me knows that I cannot keep still. So it's not possible for me to stand here. So I'm going to come down. Okay. I usually start every session with a rapport building exercise. Now, rapport building, I hope you don't mind stories. I love stories because you forget this session, you forget everything, but sometimes if the story resonates with you, it remains. My first son is almost 21 years old now, and I used to think that I have a very good relationship with my children, because when my son was 13, he came back home one day and said, Didi, I'm in love. He did it like this and closed his eyes. You know, I'm a typical Nigerian parent. In my heart, I went like, A'udhu billah. Yes, I have. Okay. So where do I put it? Okay, back to my son. So when he came back that day and said he was in love at 13, like the typical Nigerian parent that I am, in my heart, I didn't say it out loud. I said, A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. It's time. He has, you know, he's finally, he's having a crush. Of course, I didn't say that to him. Then I said, who is it? He said, Chantel. And then he'll close his eyes. So I said, okay. Why do you like Chantel? He said, she's really, really pretty. What's new, right? She's pretty, we hear that. I said, what else? She said, she's really, really kind. The last time I lost my something I can't even remember now, she helped me to find it. And then the other time she helped me to copy my notes. She's really, really nice. And he said something profound. He said, Didi, I'm going to be an amazing husband. I bet clap for me. You think it's easy for your child to say, I bet clap now. Clap. How about making chicken? To raise a son. Okay. To raise a son who thinks of being an amazing husband, or more is hard work. And I said, how are you going to be a good husband? He said, I'm going to love my wife and I'm going to treat her right. I said, how? You have to start to practice. He said, really? On her? I said, no. A'udhu billah. Not on her. You practice on me. What will you do for your wife when she comes back from work? He said, give her a cup of tea. I said, I beg, guy, get me a cup of tea, Jari. And he got me a cup of tea. I said, what else will you do for your wife? He said, I'll massage her feet. I said, start. And I gave him my feet and he began to massage it. Now, amongst my children, honestly, he's kindest to me because he has been practicing how to be a good husband. So you can imagine, to my dismay, as my son was growing a little older, he began to change. Somehow, my dear loving boy began to withdraw from me, and I was curious. Now, I'm a mental health coach. I work with schools with kids who have been traumatized. So I thought something could have happened to him and he's not willing to share. So I got him the first coach, second coach, third coach. It wasn't working. I failed to notice something profound. My dear boy had 7 pieces of hair. Wallahi, I counted it. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 pieces of hair. And his friends in school said he was now a man and men don't fool around with their mothers. You see how they pour sansan inside pesingari? Do you understand that? Fantastic. My enemies were at work. My boy was changing because he was growing. And I didn't like that. I didn't like it at all. I'm a very resourceful person. When I say, Muni annoy, John, people go like, I said, this is serious. So I created a card. I'm a graphic designer. So I created a game card for us to play. I'm going to cut the long story short. The first time we played this card game, it's basically random icebreaker questions. I just turned them into a card game. And then I said, after Jumu'ah, Friday is a special day for myself and my kids. I said, let's sit down, and when you pick a card, the person next to you will ask you the question. And my dear boy picked a card that said, what was the most embarrassing thing that happened to you in primary school? Then he had just finished secondary school. And he smiled. It gladdened my heart to see him smile because he hardly smiled at that time. And he said, Didi, do you remember the guy who sells shawarma in the school? I don't want to call the name. He used to wrap up a lot of shawarma before break because, it took a while to wrap up one. So during break, he has a kiosk. And the kiosk is a bit high. And he was just like 8, 9 years old. He said, myself and my friends, we used to steal shawarma. Now, there was a red flag. Bing, bing, bing. Okay. That's not the point. Just ignore that and listen to him. And they'll go like this. And they will just zari shawarma from the bottom. The man will never know because he's just seen his mountain of shawarma, right? And then the first person will go, and they said we were doing that for a while until one day my friend did his, the second one did, and then when it was my turn, as I put my hand up, I was caught. And they bit shaggy out of my body. But I just kept saying, please, please don't tell my mother I stole. It was just a random card game, but that card game helped my son to express something that happened years ago. I'm going to do the game with you, if you don't mind. Do you mind? You just pick a card, and I asked you a question. Are you game? I will start with my friend. Pick a card. Okay, I'm going to ask you the question. Yes. What is the longest you've ever gone without taking a shower? A whole week? Okay. We in Nigeria, because I'm sure you were in Turkey then, right? You can afford to do that there. Okay. My aunt is here, so let me have it. What is your favorite thing to do to treat yourself? What do you do to give yourself a treat? You took?
To read. I love reading.
Oh, so that's a treat for you?
I need a private time and then read.
Oh, fantastic. I don't have to read unless I'm writing an exam. Who else? Let's see. Ma'am. Yes, you. Okay, let me have it. Who is your mentor and why? Who is your mentor? Do you have a mentor? Someone you look up to, who guides you. Just say Coach Didi self. It's Coach Didi. Do you have a mentor? There is no right or wrong answer.
I think my late dad.
Your late dad.
Yeah.
Why?
There are a lot of things he did before I got married. And even after I got married, I do compare my husband with my dad, going by the things he used to do then.
And how does that work out for you?
Yeah. It helps.
Fantastic.
In my home.
Thank you. This is for you. My love language is gifts. So let me see. Yes, you're smiling so much. So you take one. Okay, let me have it. Would you rather have an extra finger or an extra toe?
I liked.
Would you like to have an extra finger? You know, some people have the 6th finger.
No, I don't want.
No problem. I don't want it either. This is for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, one more person. Yes, sir. No, that has been done. Okay. Have you ever sent a text message to the wrong person?
Yes.
Can you tell us what happened?
I was trying to reach, I think, my wife. So I mistakenly sent it to another person.
Wow. How did that work out?
Yeah, I just said I never meant to send it to you. So.
And that was it?
That was
okay, then I think you should give this to your wife then. Okay. Yes, sis. What are you most afraid of in your life? What are you most afraid of?
I think what I am most afraid of is to lose my faith.
MashaAllah. So what do you do to keep your faith?
I look at the good side of life, and anything that doesn't work out, I take it as that's how it's meant to be.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. I'm going to do one more person, and then we can start proper. Yes, you. Let me have it. Whoa. What is the most embarrassing thing that has happened to you in public? You chose it. Tell us something that happened to you that was so embarrassing.
I don't remember.
You don't remember, or you don't want to share?
I don't want to remember.
You want to pick another card?
Yes, maybe.
Okay, let me get you another card then. Because it takes a lot of courage to share that, right?
Now, maybe.
Okay, pick another card. You picked it again.
This time should embracing.
Okay. You should share.
I don't remember actually.
You don't have?
I don't remember now.
You don't remember? Okay.
Because
then.
of anxiety.
If you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, for the whole world is on, the whole world, their eyes is on you for 30 seconds, what would you say to the world?
Don't look at me.
Don't
look at me.
Sorry?
Don't look at me. Maybe I don't know.
Be wicked? Oh, don't look at me.
Yes.
Okay, I get it. I get it. Thank you very much. Now, this exercise is called rapport building. This is something we do in trainings or any kind of gathering, any kind of meeting. When people come in and they are seated waiting to start a program, you don't know where they are coming from or what their story is. There is someone who had a fight with her husband this morning. Am I lying? There is someone who was annoyed by her kid this morning. Or when they were driving, coming here, someone hit their car and they are a bit upset. So they are sitting right here. We see the body of a person, but the mind is not here. Now in NLP, I have been taught that when I have something important to say, I need your full attention. Did I get that right? During the rapport exercise, you were listening. You were concentrating. And that's what I need. For you to be in an empowering position and state. Did I achieve that? Okay, clap for me now. So let's talk about parenting. I need Mr. Fazullah, I need your permission to shake table. Can I shake table? Can I shake table this morning? Is this morning? I'm on the table too, so it doesn't matter, right? I want to shake parenting table. Do I have your permission? Which means you are going to protect me from them. By the time you protect me, right? I'll be depending on what I say. Okay then, fantastic. No matter what I say. Oh, it depends on what I say. Okay, then I'll be very, very careful. In my work with young people, I've realized that, and myself included, we really don't know our children. You know, I have parents say, I know my child, and I smile. Because I had a session with her child, and there's something he told me that he said, my parents can never know. But she goes about, I know my son, he can never do that. You know, parents do it. No, my son is well brought up, he cannot do that. How do you know? How do you know what your son can or cannot do? My son once told me that, to be honest with you, who I am in this house is different from who I am outside the house. My son told me that. So this session is about us as parents taking responsibility for our role in our children's lives. Again, I'm not coming from a place of expertise, or I know it all, or I'm the best of parents, not even close. But I think these are conversations we should have. Don't you think so? Do you agree? You are not answering? Fantastic. Now, connect and communicate, a roadmap to parenting success. That's me. Kind of look cute, right? No, seriously. Don't I look cute? Thank you, Jari. I need to say it to myself over and over again. I'm going to tell you the connection between how you feel about yourself and your parenting technique. Do you know they are connected? Do you know that they're connected? How you feel about yourself, your sense of self, plays out in how you parent your children. That was the icebreaker. The icebreaker is the questioning and the gift. Oh my God, I forgot one person. It cannot happen. Where is the card? How could I forget Abdul Salam? Mr. Abdul Salam. Oh, yeah. Pick a card. What is the most important thing in your life? Or who is the most important person in your life?
Do you want me to cry?
He said it's him.
Do you want me to cry?
No, I don't.
It's my mother.
Allah.
She's a 94-year-old woman who tells the six of us to go to every part of the world and do unto people what she has done. What they should do to us, what she has done to other people's children. At 94, she tells us this.
Mashallah.
And I keep asking her, what have you studied with Allah to always tell us this? For 94 years. She says, go to every part of the world. Tell them to do to you what I've done to other people's children.
Fantastic. That's beautiful. I hope I'll grow to say that to my children as well. This is for you. Now, this is the idea behind this workshop. We don't have enough time because I really want to run through it, because there is nothing I will say today that you've not heard. That's it. There is nothing I'm going to say today that you haven't heard, but I'm going to put a twist to it, and that will be the difference. So apart from just reading this, to be honest, this one has story. Me, I know the two like story matter. The idea behind this session is to inspire you to reflect. A self-reflection on yourself and your parenting style, on growth, learning something new, on learning something and relearning something, and most importantly, intentional parenting, which is basically practice, practice, practice as you go. So that's basically the theme. And we're going to focus on empathy, which is basically emotional intelligence. Most of us say, oh, emotional intelligence. Do we really have it? If we do, what's the level of our emotional intelligence? Our understanding and active listening. Do we really listen to our kids? I can tell you for sure, many times I don't. I don't know about you. Many times my kids come, Didi, da 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 da. To God who made me, I didn't hear a word they said. But I go like, because sometimes we get home and we are so tired. And they bring all the drama. And at that time, you just want to be alone, but of course I cannot say so. So I pretend to listen. Many times, to God who made me, I don't even hear them. I say this so that you can understand that we are not here to persecute anyone, because we are on this table all together. That's why I had to create a safe word, a safe phrase with my children. When they say, Didi, I need to speak to you. That's it. My radar goes up no matter how tight, which means this is really important to me. And I've taught them not to use it anyhow. It has to be something really important. Because most days I am zoomed out. I've zoned out. I honestly don't listen. Do you think this is the importance of parenting? Communication? Parent-child communication. Do you agree with me? To build trust and connection. Like I told you, there is nothing I'm going to say here today that you haven't heard. I'm just going to give it a twist. Most kids don't even trust us. Do you agree? Or are you still believing that, no, my child trusts me, I'm the next best thing since sliced bread? Most kids don't really trust us. And most of us don't even have a connection. Real connection, most of us don't have it. Why? There's a child that told me that his father changed his phone. Forgive me, I'm going to be very blunt. Hope you don't mind. I don't know how not to be blunt. I still have your protection, right? He said the first time, when my father changed his phone, he gave me his old phone. And he forgot to delete messages. Do I have to go into it? Do you know what this child saw on his father's WhatsApp messages? Text messages to different women. Pictures, videos his father had exchanged with this woman. How the hell can he trust you? He never said anything to his father, and of course never said anything to his mother as well. But that trust has been broken. When the father brought that child, he was complaining the child was unruly and very disrespectful. This was the reason why the child was disrespectful. Emotional development. Of course, we all have stages. You know what emotions are? And knowing how to understand our kids, come from a place of understanding, validate their emotions is key. I hope you don't mind. Like I told you, I'm going to relate this with sessions I've had and experiences. You don't mind? Because that's the easiest way to drive home the point. I was having a session with an all-boys school, and then one boy said, Coach Titi, there's something I need to tell you. I said, can you say it in front of everyone? He said, yeah, he can. He's, I think, 14. He said, Coach Titi, I like girls. I really, really like girls. I said, okay. I was waiting for the question. This is an Islamic school, by the way. And when there was no question, I said, oh, you're supposed to like girls, guy. Who are you supposed to like? You like boys? God forbid. You should like girls. How old are you? He said 14. I validated that emotion because he is supposed to like girls at 14. Did you not like girls at 14? Or didn't you like boys at 14 and 15? It's nature. I said the problem is not you liking girls. What do you do with the feeling of liking the girl? Do you act it out? Now that's wrong. The only time you're allowed to do that is when you are married. So you're going to hold yourself. Keep the feeling to yourself as much as you can. When you see how your heart goes, right? He said, yeah. I said, that's fine. You're supposed to feel that way. But keep it to yourself. We have been raised in a culture that is in every ramification wrong. Is it really wrong? Is it really wrong to feel what you feel at 14, 15? Who here didn't feel it? Please, if you were 14, 15 and there was this boy at the end of your street that when you are walking, you change the way you walk when you see him, who didn't do that? Who? So how do we tell kids not to feel the emotion or tell them it's wrong, it's evil? And that's where we get it wrong. Validate that feeling because it's halal. That feeling is okay. What you do with the feeling is the cocoa of the matter. Positive role models. That is what we just talked about earlier. We keep complaining. MD has said it. We complain about our kids, their behavior, but we do not look at our own behavior. We are a mirror to our children. You can argue all you want. We are a mirror to our children. Our kids see what we do much more than what we say. How you behave towards your neighbor, your kid sees it. When you pick up the phone and insult somebody before you pick up the call, your kid heard it. When you say these people, when you refer to people from another side of the country, your kid hears it. And naturally, he will have a tendency to do the same. So the question is, how have you been treating people around you? Because they watch. Positive problem solving, self-esteem, and academic excellence. Self-esteem is the underlying cause of many mental health illnesses. I'm going to try as much as possible not to delve into mental health, but I cannot help it. Building self-esteem. Teaching kids to be proud of who they are, what they stand for. Now the question is, how can you give what you don't even have? Many parents, especially the ones with mental health illnesses, have low self-esteem. And somehow we project it to our kids. I believe in affirmations. I'm a staunch believer in affirmations. People say affirmations don't work. Well, it doesn't work for you, it works for me. How I see myself is really important to me. And those who follow me on Instagram know, because I always say to myself, Ummi king hatu. Now in English, it means, babe, you are it. I say it over and over again until I began to believe it. You don't have to believe Nahadu. You don't have to. I don't need you to. But I need to believe Nahadu. That's self-esteem. That makes it easier for kids to say no to peer pressure. A child who knows who he is, who he stands for, who loves who she is. Believe me, when people say, I know this, she'll say no. This morning, I tell my kids every day, I compliment them. When I told my 11-year-old this morning, you are beautiful, she says, I know, because I have said it over and over again. I shared the story of when I was 13, and I remember my mother sent me to get something, to grind something. I can't remember whether it was beans or millet. I do remember I was holding the bucket like this. The house was just opposite our own house. And as I was walking towards the place to grind, this young boy, I think I was 13, I was in just 2. He just stood in front of me. And I was like seriously? And he said, Ummi, kina da kyau wallahi. You see, when I say it, I even smile. It means, Ummi, you are beautiful. To God who made me, nobody had ever told me that. And I was 13, so naturally I had started growing and noticing the boys in my area. And when he said it, for a minute, I just stood there. It felt really good. And he walked away. And I still stood there for a minute. And then I kept working. When I was going, before he stopped me, I was walking like this. When he said it, I was like, you know when you whirl? And the bucket was, I became like a ballet dancer. And it kept on playing in my head. So I'm beautiful? When I got back home, my mother said, Mehaka, what the hell is wrong with you? Because I was just smiling. Of course, I didn't tell her a boy told me not a cow. I just dropped the bucket, and I remember I went into my room. To be honest with you, I stood in front of the mirror, and I was like, not a cow? Not a cow, of course. But I didn't know that then. Because of that particular incident and how it made me feel, I know the importance of validation. That boy told me that once. If I had seen him again the next day, and the next day, if he says, Ummi, come, I'll follow. And that's why I tell parents, when was the last time you told your child you are beautiful? When? When was the last time you even looked your child in the eye and gave the child a compliment? In this day and age of social media, and you honestly think the neighbor down the road hasn't said it? Or the classmate in school hasn't said it? You really think so? Because of that, I'm intentional about complimenting my children, including the boys. You're beautiful, you're handsome. I always compliment them because there is no one yeah boy that'll come and tell my daughter you're beautiful and she'll go like, oh. Why? Because she has heard it over and over again. Words matter. Believe me, what we tell yourself, what people tell you, yes, we say do not, focus on external validation. Yes, but they do matter. Healthy boundaries, of course. These are conversations we have with kids, but many parents don't even have it. The northern culture says, how can you talk about things like that with your kid? So we don't. And as she grows older, or he grows older, Google helps them to find ideas, or their friends who have some kind of experience, tell them. The dynamics. Things are changing. We all know that, isn't it? I remember as a child, my mother used to work, but it didn't show that much that she was out of the house for that long. But look at the work structure today, especially parents who can afford to bring their kids here. You don't say no be beans, ba. So they work extra hard to create a life worth living for their kids, to give education to their kids. When I talk about stress management, I say, can you live in Nigeria and not be stressed? Like seriously. Can you live in this country and not be stressed? Stress is synonymous with Nigeria, to be honest. So the dynamics of parenting has changed from the time of our parents. I tell people, look, we are raising children for a world we used to live in, which does not exist anyway. Because the world we were raised in no longer exists. You go to work. You have to work extra hard because you know that your salary cannot take you home. How many people can actually say, yes, my salary is enough? Please, if your salary is enough, raise your hand. What you actually make at work monthly, if it actually takes you home, please raise up your hand. We all have side hustles. This is my side hustle. We all have things we do outside work to complement our income. So less time with the kids. Yes, it's for the kids and the family, yeah, but unfortunately, less time. And then social media. The influence of social media on technology, oh my God, that's a different conversation. My kids have never had phones. There was nothing they didn't say, they didn't do. My kids never had phones until they finished secondary school. Yet my 11-year-old told me this morning about TikTok, and I was like, how in the world is she getting access to this TikTok matter? She doesn't have a phone, but her friends have phones. We cannot stop our kids from having access to social media, no matter how hard you try. I know because I've been trying really hard. And whether we like it or not, it influences their thinking. How they see themselves, how they see the world, how they act. There was a day we were watching a movie, and then it was an American film, and then the child was scolded by the mom, and he walked away and he banged the door. And I turned to my child, I said, you do that, you die. I didn't mean that, of course. But this to show you that this is what they watch on TV. A child is angry with his parent, and then he talks back. This morning before I left, my daughter told me she wanted to visit her friends. I hardly let my kids visit friends because of experiences I've had of other children about sexual molestation in people's homes. So I hardly allow it. She begged and begged. I said, okay. Then she said, Didi, can I go with my iPad? They don't use their iPad until holiday. I said, but if you're going to visit your friend, why would you need an iPad? You're supposed to go and speak and talk and gist. And she said, why do I feel I'm being attacked? Just like I showed you. Like, why do I said, sure. I'm attacking you because I'm asking why you need an iPad. That is the situation we're in today. When a 15-year-old looks you in the eye and says, you are attacking me. Imagine saying it to your mother. You would die. I had never even imagined talking back to my mother. For where? But now we have kids who have this sense of self and high self-esteem that talk back to us. Talking back is not much of a problem for me, to be honest. I raise my kids to talk, but not to talk back. To give me valid points why they think what I'm doing or what I'm saying is not okay with them. That's okay. But being rude, I draw the line there. Can somebody stand up here and say their child has never been rude to them? Anybody? Please, if you have this angel of a child, let me know what you are doing right. Let me join. Because our kids today being rude, it's not even being rude, it's just being a child. Why? Because of circumstances. Even our cultural norms have changed. I'm from Niger State. This is how we greet. When we greet an elder, we cannot greet standing. We have to bend. If we have open eyes small, we go like this. But we must shall bend small. Then I see kids standing. Hey. Me. Hey. But what can you do? Because times are changing. My son called me and told me he was going to make his hair. Allah, my heart caught. Now I'm a coach. You see, that's the advantage I have because I have small sense. When he said he was going to make his hair, every fiber of my being was alert. I'm Muslim from northern Nigeria. A boy plaiting hair is not something we see. And certainly not my kid, I thought. I said, why? He said, I just want to have a feel of it. I said, Ummi, while he was speaking, I was saying, Ummi, receive sense. Ummi, receive sense. Handle this with care. I said, so if you make your hair now, will it get it out of your system? He said, I think so. I said, go ahead. And he made his hair. I swear, the first day I had a video call with him, I could not look at him, I was just looking at the hair. And I was like, this is my child. And you see, many parents, it happens. There are things our kids do, and then you go like, who raised this person? Who raised this person? That's why I don't say, I know what my child can do. I don't know. I know what I have taught my child. I know what I expect from my child, but I cannot say I know what my child can or cannot do. Before you have hypertension and have heart attack. Common communication challenges. Do you agree with this? My kids call me dinosaur. As I'm so ancient. My daughter said, Didi, you're going to be 50. You are old. She said it as if it was a bad thing. The way we think, the way they think, old school, my sister, it's miles apart. How we see things is not how they see things. When I speak to my daughter, she'll say, chew that. I said, chew what? Me chew it. And then I struggle to have some sense of self and okay, calm down and just listen and learn. There's a generational gap. We can't do anything about that. We cannot think like our kids think because the age they've been born and raised is different from our own. They are high-tech kids. So I always say find common ground. Find a way to connect. I had already talked about lack of time. We don't have enough time with our kids. That's understandable because creating balance between parenting, between life and work is hard. I have a program called Life Design. I teach creating balance. I don't have it. When I do the class, I say, okay, this is a class. I'm teaching it. I don't have it either. Because I don't think there's anybody who actually has a balance. We keep fluctuating up and down. But the difference between you and I is intentional parenting. You go to work, you have to work hard to afford good schools, to afford a decent home, to afford to run your gen. How much is diesel again? So that's understandable. But creating balance between school, work, life, time for kids is something you have to be intentional about. The question is, are you intentional about it? When there is PTA meeting, you hardly see men in the room. I have talked about this. I don't tire for this matter. I'm going to climb on this table. MD, I'm on this table. They will not come for PTA meeting. And the excuse is, they work so hard. God bless you, mashallah. Alhamdulillah, you work really, really hard. Thank you. Have you ever heard of values? Your value is your life compass. Your value is what's important to you. And you create time for what is important to you, if it is important. I'm not saying fathers must attend every PTA meeting. Who am I to say so? But how about attend some PTA meetings so that you know what's going on? A boy told me that, Coach Didi, my father has never asked for my report sheet. He pays millions of naira for me to. This is what the boy said. He's 17. He has never once said, Kai, kao report sheet in Kangani. He knows the child goes to school because he pays school fees, but he has never asked for his scorecard. Is he doing well? Maybe the mother knows. The mother is not very literate. So tell me, who guides this child? And it's not just one person, to be honest. A few kids have told me their parents have never seen their report sheet. Busy parent. Again, I'm not here to judge anybody, but I'm here to tell you to do a self-reflection. Yes, you are a very hard-working person. We understand. Civil Servant General of the Federation, Legislator General of the Federation, Military Personnel General of the Federation. Yes, it's you. But within this time that you focus on work, why can't you create a little time for the welfare of your kids? Remember, we are the mirror of our kids. And excuses don't work. I work so hard to provide food on the table. Well done, sir. Saturday is not a work day. Do you do PTAs on Monday? No, do you do PTAs on Monday? Wednesday? Or is it on Friday? PTAs are on Saturdays. Yet, you cannot even make it for PTA. Again, I'm not saying every PTA, but at least one PTA once in a while, you cannot make it for it. So I've talked about power dynamics, unresolved conflicts, peer influence. All this affect communication. When my son was about, sorry, I keep making examples so that you can resonate. I hope you don't mind. When my son was 8 or 9, I'm not sure, when I realized that, look, I wanted to be an intentional parent. When I have a bad day at work, I come in and I go straight into his room and I sit down and he go, Didi, what is it? Because I look sad. I said, no, I had a really bad day. He said, what happened? Then I create a story. Sometimes it's his father that is the problem, to be honest. But of course, I'm not telling him that it's his father that is causing all this headache. So I create a story and I give him a story, maybe something at work. And then I'll ask him, what do you think I should do? He said, Didi, I think you should. He gave me one ridiculous thing to do, but that's not what's important. I needed him to know that he could tell me what to do. Then he will sit beside me, and then he will hug me and put my head on his shoulder. And he will say, it's okay, Didi. Do you know why I do that? Or I did that? Because he's about 21 years old now. I needed my son to know I can be vulnerable. We never grew up to see our parents vulnerable. Our parents were supermen and superwomen. No matter how bad things were, our parents' parenting style was there where they are not supposed to show us weakness. Where did that get us? And that was then. Can we raise a child today and not show weakness? Then how can he bring his own weakness to you? Because I have raised my children to understand that I am not perfect. 4 days ago, my son called me around 6 a.m. I panicked because they're in the same school with his brother. And his brother wasn't feeling well, so I thought it had to do with his older brother's illness. I said, what? He said, no, nothing. I'm having a problem with my project. I said, okay, 6 a.m. And there's time difference. I said, so what's the problem? He says, look at it. Then he showed a video of the project. It looked bad. I said, it's not so bad. It looked terrible. and I said, it's not so bad. I said, so what's the problem? He said, I have to submit it today. Then I asked him, when were you given the project? He said, 3 weeks ago. So I said, what have you learned from this? He said, I should have started long ago, because if I had started long ago, I would have known he's studying architecture. I would have known the material would look this way after cutting. Now the time is too short. There is nothing I can do before I see the professor. I said, that's beautiful. So you've learned the lesson. What will you need to do now? He said, I asked him if he could give me another chance to do it. I said, what if he says no? He said, I'll have to live with it. I hope you don't mind. I may fail this course. I said, over my dead body, you are not failing it too. You are not oh, God forbid, you are not failing it. That's the point. When my son his older brother turned 16, or was it 17? When he turned 17. We usually do dua after Fajr prayer. And I said, I'm sorry. And my son said, why did he? I said, I'm apologizing in advance. You know me, because I make mistakes every day. I apologize in advance. He said, why? I said, because I know I'm going to make mistakes with you this year. Some I may come from and some I may never come from. So I want to apologize in advance. He said, okay, Didi, I'm also apologizing in advance for the things I'm going to do. He did more, to be honest. He did much more worse things than I did. Why I share this is because we come from this place of perfection as parents. How? Please, if you're a perfect person in this room, a perfect person, please raise your hand if you're perfect. If you've never made a mistake or you're not making mistakes in your life, please raise your hand. Oh, you. Fantastic. While the rest of us mortals, we make mistakes every day. And there is no shame in admitting it. I do not know, I cannot count the number of times I've apologized to my children. My parents have never apologized to me. Has it happened to you? Has your father or mother ever apologized to you? Oh, your father has. Fantastic. Wow, that's new. Most of our parents never apologized to us because they were supposed to be the parents. But how can you raise a child to learn to apologize when you don't apologize? Or how can you raise a child to understand that mistakes are okay when you don't admit to your own mistakes? How is that possible? You are on this high horse of perfection, which is actually impossible. Or is it? Now, this is the cocoa of the matter. Mental health. You know I'm a mental health coach, right? You know that, right? Fantastic. What if I did this? Zalifa, let me hold this, I beg. Auntie, this is Skechers, I love it. Let me hold it. I have removed my shoes. Oh. Hi. Is this normal behavior? Is this normal? I'm a 47-year-old woman who gave one of our shoes to another person, gave the other shoe to and it is sitting on the carpet on the floor. Is this normal behavior? Is it possible? Really? How? Okay. So this is normal. It's relative. But I could have asked for a chair because this is a carpet and people have been walking on this place. It's kind of dirty. Oh, really? Fantastic. Okay, what if I did this? Sorry? I need explanation. Yes, please. Yes. That's why I'm asking. Okay, I'm going to give the explanation. Fantastic. Yeah. Okay, let me do this. What if I did this? Sorry. Yes, right here, right now. Okay. What if I do like this? No. Is this normal behavior? I don't colo. Fantastic. Do you know that there are times that you go through some things in life that makes you do something abnormal? It has ever happened to you? Fantastic. Because when I talk about mental health, I say, hello everyone, my name is Coach Didi and I have mental health issues. No, like seriously, I do have mental health issues. People go like, they think it's part of the act. No, seriously, this is not part of the act. I do have mental health issues. Which means there are things that have happened to me in my life that has created a shift in my thinking. And whether I like it or not, it affects my parenting style. Do you agree? Yes, ma'am. Okay, I furnished you enough of my shoes. Thank you. Don't you like Skechers? I love Skechers. They are super, super comfortable. So imagine I even put this shoe on my head. Is that normal behavior? It's normal. Mental health simply means how you think, how you feel, and how you behave. How you think, how you feel, and how you behave, which means we all have mental health. How you handle situations in your life, how you make decisions, how you handle stress. Remember, Nigeria is stressful. I don't know about you, it's so stressful. How you make decisions is mental health. Whether or not you are productive in society affects mental health. And it's like a pendulum. It goes up, down, sideways, left, right. We have good days and bad days. There are things that have happened to people 5, 10 years ago that would create that there'll be a trigger. You know a trigger? And they go like, they begin to remove cloth. Well, that's extreme, right? But it does happen. Trauma is real. I always speak about Northern Nigeria. Being a female raised in Northern Nigeria, I know the culture of silence. And today, because of the fact that of what I do, when women tell me things that happened to them as 6, 7, 10-year-old that they never told anybody. And you hear somebody, there's a sound, and somebody's going, and you're going like, what the hell? What the hell? It's just a sound. Or somebody holds a glass, and as she walks in, she starts to palpitate, and she's like, and you're wondering, this? Because different things have different meanings to people. A woman who was raped by a man who was holding a glass cup like this, each time she sees this glass, does not see a glass, she sees rape. Am I making sense? That's how trauma works. That's why even when you hold a pencil, to you it may be a pencil, but the meaning another person is giving to that pencil is a traumatic event that may have happened to her. Which is why we always talk about coming from a place of empathy. But that class is not this class. This class is about how your mental health affects your parenting. When I wrote the bullying workbook, a school called me. They had a child who was this serial bully, really violent child. They said they were tired, they were going to expel him. Then I think a friend of mine knows the owner of the school. I said, why don't you call, could you let her just talk to this child? In conversation, I realized this child is from a home that his father beats his mother every day, or let's say every other day. So violence is part of his life. He has been used to seeing violence, so violence is nothing. So naturally, he takes it to the school. And that is why the child is violent. Now, this man is a hot shot in this Abuja. How would this school say, sir, okay, oh, your son has told us you are beating madam, oh, from where? Can you do it? Yet the behavior of the father is reflected in the behavior of the child. And we're not quick to condemn the father. My coach shared a story of his own father, who was a drunk and used to beat his mom. And he said, by God's grace, when I grow up, I will never hit a woman. And then one day when he was 19, 20, he beat the hell out of his girlfriend. He shared that story. Our upbringing is a programming. It's an unconscious programming. His programming is when a woman does something wrong, she gets hit. That's his programming. He can unlearn it, but it's his factory setting. So sometimes the factory setting can be overpowering. So perhaps she did something wrong, and without even thinking, he hit her because that's what he's used to seeing all his life. That's how mental health works. So when you see parents who have issues, sometimes I say, please come from a place of empathy. Without even knowing, they are transferring this traumatic event because it becomes a part of who you are, your behavior. Yes, you can do something about it. Yes, you can unlearn it, but you transfer it to your parenting. Somebody told me that he has a problem with his wife. She's not nurturing. She's not very nurturing to their kid, and he doesn't know what to do. When we had a conversation, she was raised in a home that her mother wasn't in the home and who was raised by this really wicked and mean stepmother. So she has never understood what love is. She has never been hugged in her life. How do you expect her to give that? You cannot give what you don't have. Yes, some people have unlearned it and become better. But her de facto setting, her programming is not nurturing because she did not receive nurturing in her life. Am I communicating? I'm not trying to make excuses for parents. It just helps us to come from a place of understanding so that we can have a deep self-reflection. Because whoever you are today is a reflection of your upbringing. Do you agree? Whoever you are today is a reflection of your upbringing. You can argue all you want, but that's what it is. You can change it, you can unlearn it, but it's your factory setting. There are things you do, you go like, why in the world did I do that? That's factory setting. Yes, you can feel remorse, you can feel shame, and you can make it right. But you did it, and that's okay. And have you heard of this popular saying, hurt people hurt people? Have you heard of it? Hurt people unconsciously. A man who was raised by an absentee father, a mean father, will naturally, most likely become a mean father to his own children. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. So the first step is realizing that you are hurting. That's self-awareness. You see, our culture of denial, God forbid, I am not that person. I'm rejecting it. The devil is a liar. The Lord is in control. A'udhu billah. It doesn't change who you are. Conscious effort changes who you are. But you have to accept it first. Who am I? Why do I think the way I think? Why do I do things the way I do it? There's a reason. Your mindset, how you think, how you see the world, which can be influenced by three things: your upbringing, the environment you grew up in, and significant emotional events that have happened to you in your life. Active listening, that's the core of the matter. We're supposed to have a short break before we do active listening. Are you game? Are you okay with that? You know, parents, we are working hard. I don't know about you, Omo, I work hard, I swear. So do you agree with me that you've been working hard? Have you been working hard? Fantastic. So can you be on your feet for a minute? Humor me, please. Humor me. You don't have to take part if you don't want to, but I'll really appreciate it if you do, because we need to unwind. You see, all this stress, this Nigerian stress, it is part of life. We need to distress. You see, the school fees matter. Or more. Not be small something. Is it fuel? Is it housing? Have you gone to the market lately? Do you know a bag of sugar is 75k? A bag of rice is 72,000 naira. 75. It is not easy. It is not easy. See, if you are having children in school, clap for yourself. If you did not remove your children from school because of poverty, clap for yourself. Yeah. Have I been making sense so far? Thank you. Are we going to do something different? Yes. Because you know some of us parents will come here and will say, Coach Didi, God, that woman can talk. She made sense, yeah? And that is it. She made sense, and that is it. You go back home and you continue your pattern. Everybody has a pattern. Everybody has a pattern, the way you've been doing things. you can stop it. But it's a conscious decision. There's a popular saying that says a journey of 1,000 miles begins with what? We don't say that in NLP. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single decision first to take that single step. So which means you can decide today, yes, I may not be the perfect of parents, but I can do better. For those who have not been asking for school report sheets, we can start to ask. They just had midterm, right? You just had midterm. So you can start by saying, how was the midterm? Are you having any challenges? Are you having any challenges? And then the conversation can go on. So now I need us to do something small. I take God beguna. Just help me move your body small. Hit it. Okay, people. Don't just watch the video. Just follow the video. Follow the video. Come on.
You're a good soldier, choosing your battle. Pick yourself up and dust yourself off and back in the saddle. You're on the front line, everyone's watching. You know it's serious, we're getting closer, this isn't over. The pressure's on,
not moving on.
You feel it, but you got it all, believe it. When you fall, get up, oh, oh, and if you fall, get up, eh, Tamina, mina, sangalewa. Cause this is Africa. Tamina, mina, waka, waka, Tamina, mina, sangalewa. This time for Africa.
You're not dancing, no, you're not moving.
Listen to your God, this is our motto. Your time to shine, don't wait in line, y vamos por todo. People are raising their expectations. Go on and feed them, this is your moment, no hesitation. Today's your day, I feel it. You pave the way. This time for Africa. Tamina, mina, waka, waka, Tamina, mina, sangalewa. Anawa, Tamina, mina, waka, waka, Tamina, mina, sangalewa. This time for Africa. I'm on my journey, biggie, biggie, mama, from A to Z. My sister's on my journey, biggie, biggie, mama, from east to west.
No, come on.
Waka, waka, my tell us it's a Mazibuye. This is Africa.
Now, clap for your hands. Clap for yourselves. Clap for yourselves. There are some people, they cannot remember the last time they moved their body. Thank you, darling. No, let me give you something. Waka, waka. It's for you. Waka, waka. No. Thank you, sir. This is for you. Thank you for moving body. You see this life, life short. This life is shorty. Access Bank MD, where is he today? Make una dey take am easy. Make una dey take am easy. You see this life, you don't get part two. At least not in the world. Some of us are so stressed up with life challenges, marriage problems, parenting problems, neighbor problem, colleague problem, money problem. And sometimes we forget to relax. We forget to take time out to relax. You see this mental health matter? Allah na serious matter. Na serious matter. So learning to manage your mental health is key because it affects your parenting style. We already agree that Nigeria is already stressful. The underlying cause of many mental health illnesses is chronic stress, which goes on and on and on, can lead to depression, anxiety, and even substance addiction. What do you love doing? What do you do when you do it? You feel happy and you forget the time. Whatever it is for you, please do it more often. I shared the story. Me, I love food. You know they show for my body. Thank you, Jare. Clap. I'm baking chicken. Wallahi, I'm not baking chicken. Black stomach. Somebody's clapping you. Jaja, you say, oh yeah, just clap for her, right? Now, before we continue with active listening, what's the name? Call out the name. Dr. and Mrs. Uchendu. Please, can you step forward, please? Please, a round of applause for them. Hold on, sir. I'm sure you're wondering. When they sent you IV, what time did they put on the IV? 10 o'clock. Let's not go into what time you came. Doctor left everything he was doing. Madam followed. And they came here on time. Another round of applause. This is for you. Papa, let's do something. You know, when I work with kids, I tell them that when people do things and they don't do it right and we do it right, we go like, meh, nto. Can we do it together? Papa, let's do it meh for them.
No, I can't do that. They've gotten the story already.
Abi, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I should have gotten Turkish tea, but I don't know how to have access. So this is Alokozai tea and a cup. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Remember to come early.
Yes.
Remember, you cannot do it, Papa. Let me do it for them.
Let me tell you, that is where I walked.
Wow.
You have to be there in time.
Where is that?
I walked.
Where was that?
And you said a lot about changes.
Yes.
In that's people before and now.
Yeah.
I worked in the central bank.
Wow.
And you have to be there at the appropriate
Thank
time.
you, sir.
And leave late. That's the way it works.
You see, ba?
Yes.
Una see una self.
So you have to be there on time.
You see pattern. So you have moved that into your life.
Yes.
So when you're called to when you go for an event,
you must be there before time.
Please, another round of applause.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So Papa will not do it because Papa is a nice guy. Me, I'm not. Meh. When they say come early, come early. Active listening. Okay. Okay, not today. Okay, Papa, there's a correction. Central Bank then in Lagos now, it seems they go late to work now. It seems they go late to work now.
Things are changing.
Yes.
The change is not only in one direction.
Yeah.
So if it is happening, it's a reflection of what is going on.
Absolutely. I agree with you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now, the cocoa of this class is what we're all guilty of. Active listening. We really don't listen. We pretend to, myself, I'm on this table with all of them now. We come back home, we're really tired, and then when the kids start, oh my God, this thing happened, I say, okay. But believe me, you're zoned out and you don't listen. It happens to most of us, right? But how can we be better? How can we start to listen actively? Listen to understand, comprehend, and give feedback. Most kids say they don't feel heard. They don't feel they matter. Because they watch Disney World and Disney Waiting. You didn't watch it during your time, so you don't know it. But they have seen movies where they ask the kid, what do you think? Did your mother ever ask you, what do you think? They just gave us orders and we followed. But our kids are in a world where they watch the whole world on their devices. So their thinking pattern is different from us. They want to be heard. They want to be seen. The question is, are we seeing them? And do we really hear them. These are practical tips for active listening. Given full attention. And show up while you're listening. I know where you're going. I know you're going. No, you don't know where I'm going. No interruption. I know you're going to say no, you don't know what I'm going to say. No interruption. Paraphrasing and reflecting. Okay, if I get you correctly, you said da 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 da. It shows the child you heard. Validate emotions. I've already talked about that. If your child says, I feel this way, say, no, you cannot say you feel that way. Why not? You are not me. Validate how the child feels. Doesn't mean you agree with the child. It's creating common ground for the child to open up and express him or herself. Coming from a place without judgment. We are so quick to judge. I think it's an African thing. We can't judge for Africa. Somebody is talking, all you cannot see is the stereotype in your head. Give feedback. Do you even ask your kid for feedback? Most parents don't. Do you ask your children, what do you think? Sometimes, because of my background, there are things I want to say, I cannot say it because I have to find a nice way to say it. And one of the things I learned in Toastmasters is called CRC. When you want to give feedback about something, come first with a commendation. Oh, I love the way you did that. I loved how you went about da 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 da. However, you can also do this. You don't have to say but, you can also add da 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 da. And then you end up with, in overall, I think it was spectacular. So you have put in your recommendation, your criticism, but in a nice way. So that the person doesn't feel judged. Because our kids now say, you are judging me. Has it not happened to you? Me, I'm judging who? But this is what they say because that's how they feel. So find a way to give feedback without making the child feel less. Be patient. We are really impatient. And I don't blame you, like me too, honestly. Many times I want them to just finish talking. Finish, I beg. Because you're already tired, to be honest. But you don't have to let them see that. I'm listening. You said, okay, so what can I do? What can I do? You take responsibility. And that's the core of the matter. We do not take responsibility. We are not used to taking responsibility. But you can take responsibility with your child. What can I do? How can I make it work? How can I make it better? Express understanding. I see where you're coming from. I understand what you mean. I didn't mean to do da 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 da. I'm sorry it came out that way. There are some people that will die before they say I'm sorry to their child. How is that helping? You have this ego. You cannot say you're sorry to your child because you are the parent, right? Yeah, you want to say something? Okay. Yeah. No problem.
Good morning, everyone. Is it working? Hello? Okay. Sorry, this is a conference, right? So I can say something?
Yes.
Great. My name is Omolola Ajani. I'm a parent here. I have kids in primary and secondary. And I'm about to challenge some of the things that you're saying.
Please go ahead.
For me, I feel that there's nothing wrong with what you're teaching, but it's a different culture entirely. And I see that what we are being taught is another culture. I grew up in the 90s, and we were influenced by what we saw on TV. We liked it, of course. It was easier, right? And if I was to choose certain things, I wouldn't be where I am now, of course, then. But then, as I grew up, I saw that there was a lot of things with our culture that we lost, and we're still losing.
Yeah.
Because is there anything wrong with our culture if that is how we express ourselves? Why don't we learn it as that, that is what the love language is? for example. So what am I trying to say? And I took interest when you referred to Disney. Because in my house, my kids will behave in a way, and I said, look, that is entertainment. Yeah. That's not how we do here, okay? And you have to learn our culture. You're watching that, you should know that that is where it stops. Take what you feel that is good, and then we implement. Yeah. So I see that in trying to do these things, we are losing our culture entirely.
Which things in particular? Which things?
So, for example, you're saying we don't listen, we don't say sorry because of our ego. It's a part of our culture. But there are other ways that we say sorry. A mother might call the child and say, oh yeah, come. Do you want? It's not until I say, I am sorry. And I just want you to add that when you're teaching. Because if you're telling people to have to say, I am sorry, what you can also now add is, what is your love language? Are you pulling the child back? Because yes, mothers might not actually, or fathers may not actually come out to say, I am sorry, or start explaining themselves in the manner that you're teaching us, or I feel that you're telling us to do. Yeah. But there may be other ways. And they've communicated that they are sorry.
I do agree with that. I never said it was my way or the highway.
No. What I'm saying is sometimes when you're teaching that, some people do not understand that there are other ways. So parents will now come in and take that, especially the younger parents now, and take it hook, line, and sinker that that's the way. I'm just saying that in addition, because you're talking to a generation where they're just going to take it and say, this is what she has said, and this is the way it has to be. So our culture is this way, right? Why don't we? Our culture is not a culture that, what's the word called? Takes unnecessary advantage. If you look at it, if we take our time to see what our culture is, it's very rich. It's the one that encompasses even the younger generation. Here, let them have a voice as well. But what you see now that is happening is just people that are in power, bringing out only the bad side. So much so that we don't now push the positive sides of our culture, and the only positive sides that we bring in is imported culture. I don't know if I understand. Am I communicating?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I'm not coming from a culture. I'm coming from psychology.
No, but culture plays a big role.
Yeah, it does. But this is not culture.
So I'm going to take it to one more place, and then I'll stop there. I just want you to get that, because sometimes all I'm hearing is one way. And I really feel like, after I've been to a lot of these kind of conferences, I don't dispute them or put it down, because I don't want to discount anything. But I always feel like we are always losing sight of our culture. And in bringing these things up, our culture needs to be put forward. In everything we do, culture plays a very big role. The culture that we have, what is generally acceptable? What is right? What is wrong? Do you understand?
Yeah.
You say something, you say it's right, it might not be right for me.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, we try to push what is, and if you look at it, the Western world has pushed their way so much into us that we now take everything that generally, anyway, right? And it's now affecting so many things that we do. Last thing I want to bring out, which culture plays a big role in. So we say parenting. This happened during the COVID times, where as parents we came in to support the school to implement the COVID rules. As you know, not all parents, it's not convenient. It affected everybody, even psychologically. And there was this boy that came into school that day, and was spoken to, you're not dressing well and things like that. And then Mrs. Balogun was the chairperson, and I've always held that in my head. And she said there are some cultures where the mothers, and this is in the north, do not speak to their sons in a particular way. As in, they don't even call, like I have a son, his name is Iyola, I won't call him Iyola. I'll have to find another way, just as a sign of respect, right? So if that child is coming from that kind of background, where, he doesn't have, his mother cannot speak to him in a particular way, then when he comes to school, will they listen to any authority? And that struck a chord in my mind to say, and it was a big, what's it called now? Wake-up call to say, these kids that we see, they all come from very different backgrounds.
Absolutely.
That was my first time hearing something like that. And, I just went back and took it that, look, we're all very different. So, as much as possible, I think what I'm trying to push is, as we're doing this thing, let us always put that caveat to say, culture still plays a very big role in all of these things that we do. Let's use our own culture to preach these good things. So if your parents are saying sorry to you in a particular way, that's their love language. Learn it. I don't have to say sorry directly, as in sit down and say, look into your eyes. Because my children tell me, you're not looking at me. I'm like, hey, I'm looking at you now. Right? Look in my eyes. But Yoruba will say, oh,
You cannot look at the
I
other
can't
guy,
hear.
yeah.
Do you understand? I'm very tired. You say, I'm not listening. I say, that one is Disney, please, or whatever it is that you're watching there. I've heard you. My love language is to make sure you're eating well, right? That you're safe, that you're going to school, you're dressing well. So why don't we push those as well as like our culture?
We've always pushed that. Sorry to because I'm told that I have, thank you so much. And I do agree with you. There is no doubt. But when we speak about this, it doesn't like say our culture is bad. It all depends on you. In the sense that you talked about the Northern culture. I'm a mental health coach and I work with women. I'm specific about women mental health. And most of the people I talk to are actually Hausa women. And we see the effect of this same culture we're talking about on the men today. You see, the culture of yesterday worked well yesterday. The same culture of yesterday cannot work extremely well today because today is different from yesterday. Culture is about evolving. We evolve. We evolve. Saying sorry to your child is not cultural. It's psychology. It's not culture. I'm not coming from a place of culture. People change, things change. Like you said, we have many women who say that they watch their fathers apologize maybe with a gift, but they will never say sorry. And that's fine. Who are the people insisting? Well, if your kid is insisting, what's wrong with it?
There's nothing wrong. Why can't they also accept that?
You see, and that's why it is relative.
Coach Didi.
I, as a parent, you give an example now.
Coach Didi.
If my child is insisting, it has a lot to do with how I think, right?
So what I'm saying is that there should be
It's individual difference. The balance can be there. Yeah.
And if you're saying that the child is asking for it.
No, I never said a child asks for it. I never said no. No, you said so that if a child is asking.
Yeah, but you said what is wrong?
Yes, what's wrong? Because if you build a channel of communication and your child wants that, what's wrong with that? You can say no, but your child has a right, like I said, validate the child. This is how he wants to be treated. So if you can, good. If you cannot, good. It's still relative. Am I making sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I have something to say. Coach Didi.
Yeah, she was. I want to say she was not here when I said it. Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is Maimuna Abdullahi.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, it's 1 minute.
I'm a parent here. Like, I would always say one thing. Everything is relative.
Yeah.
It depends on how strongly you feel about certain things. Fortunately, I grew up under the tutelage of my father, who saw things in a different view. He never shed any strong cultural attitude that most parents have. Like for my father, if you wake up in the morning and you say, "Good morning, Daddy," and you show serious courtesy, the African courtesy, he will tell you you're a bush person. That because you're talking in English, the Englishman has no culture. So when you're greeting in English, you're supposed to stand or probably courtesy for the women a little or bow a little. And that if you're greeting us in your natural native dialect, then you have to go down, probably prostrate where I come from, and or kneel down, which is a generally accepted way of greeting. Growing up, my father taught us to be outspoken, and that is what I am today, and that is what I've actually instilled in my children. That's what we have imbibed. He told me one thing, and I would never forget. He said, I am the highest human being on earth to you. Do not fear me. And if you do not fear me, you cannot fear anybody. So I grew up from the point of, I have no fear. My fear is that I have no fear. So sometimes I actually get scared that, why don't you have fear?
Yeah.
And that is what I have actually instilled in my children. But the only thing I know I've been able to do wisely is telling them that you must have respect.
Yeah.
Because I believe that as a child, they have as kids, they have rights. As parents, you also have your rights. Then my religion as a Christian tells me that as a parent, that a child must respect me so that their days will be long on earth. And my Bible also tells me that as a parent, if I provoke my child to anger, the child has a right to get angry. And I believe that if every religious book has that, but because we are parents, selfish and bullies, we hide that part. Because we want to impose our thoughts, our wish on these children. I do not have a problem with apologizing to children. I believe absolutely in it. I'm a direct person. And that is why at every point in time, I try my best possible, no matter how hard, never to offend anybody. Because if I feel I've offended you, or I know I've offended you, I would beg you and beg, and I would not stop begging. So basically, our culture is a beautiful word. It's a good one, but there are a lot of things I feel it's not okay with our culture. Our culture has the attribute of suppressing and oppressing the children. That is why our children are easily bullied everywhere they go to. Because we are afraid to speak out. You are not allowed to speak out. You are not allowed to express how you feel about things. So we can create a balance.
Absolutely.
You understand? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, for those who came here earlier, did I not talk about culture? Did I not talk about being assertive but respectful? So we mentioned it earlier, to be honest. Yeah, 1 minute.
Actually, mine is just to observe that maybe we have derailed in the presentation. I don't know what the ground rules are. That you make your presentation, you finish, and then we make our comments, and then we make observations, and then we question. But to me now, it's as if the momentum that you have gathered has just been broken. And we don't know really what is the ground rule. Do we want you to finish your presentation and then we ask you questions and then we make our comments? Because really, I think it will be difficult maybe, I don't know, whether you will gather that momentum.
Very well.
Again.
I'll gather it.
Please.
I'll gather it. Now. Don't worry. Don't worry.
My suggestion is that we allow you to speak. You make your presentation, you end. We all have very emotional, very strong opinions about what you are saying. But I think we should have that better time. When you finish everything, when you have said all that you have to say, then let's have our own time to tell you that, well, maybe you are derailing from culture, or you are derailing from this, or you are doing this, or you are doing that. So if the whole house will agree, let her finish her presentation completely. Then after that, we fire our questions to her. Let her answer.
I have been protected already. MD has protected me for many. So let me borrow this. Okay, so can I go on? So now I want us to actually move to this because I'm told that, If you notice, you have this. Please, I need you to turn to page 1. Oh, okay, sorry. What? No, there's no time. I think, let's take it back up. Sorry, let me take it back up. I wanted to avoid going up. When I was training, my coach taught me that when you elevate yourself while you speak, it's as if you're looking down. You're coming from this place of expertise. And if you remember, when I started this session, I said, I am not coming from a place of expertise or any kind of excellence. I am a mother who has been making mistakes in my life. I am struggling as a wife. I swear to God, I'm struggling. You can ask my husband. I'm struggling as a mother. I'm struggling as a colleague, as a daughter, as a sister. I'm struggling even as a coach, Seth. To collect money from una hand is not easy. So it's a struggle all the way. So I'm not standing here because I know it all or I can do it all. I'm standing here because I have heard little something, I've learned little something, and I'm sharing, and we will unlearn and learn together. Good? So it's not about listening and hearing something. It's about actually implementing it. Everybody who said something today made sense. Because there is no right or wrong. It's only your opinion. How you see the world. Your mindset. Right? Okay. So this is what you have. It's called a life will. Has anybody ever worked on a life will before? If you have, raise your hand. Fantastic. 2. Good. So 3, is your hand up? Fantastic. Okay. So this is a life will. This is what you have. This is a helicopter view of you as a parent. Right? Now, could you, yes, thank you. Thank you. You have a pencil, you are given a pencil. Quality time, okay. Quality time and what? Oh, see quality time. Oh, thank you. You see why I said we are learning and unlearning together. Fantastic. So this is a parenting wheel. Remember when we started today, I said the idea behind this session is to inspire self-reflection, growth, and intentional parenting. And how can you do that? By looking at yourself. Now this will represent different areas, segments of your parenting style. When was the last time? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. When was the last time you spent quality time with your child? So we're going to do it this way. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You get the drift, right? When was the last time you took time out from your busy schedule? Yes, you're a very busy person, we know. You're trying to make money from the family, we know. But in this, your tight time, yes? No, it doesn't matter. It could be anyway. I'll just show you what to do. So let's say, for example, me now. My daughter once told me when she was 8 years old. She said, Didi, I thought she was going to tell me something nice because she was smiling. You are busy taking care of other people's children, neglecting your own. My daughter told me that. She's 11 now. She told me 3 years ago she was 8. And it hit me. I said, sure. You are busy helping other people's children and neglecting your own. I began to become more intentional about my children. You see, that's the role feedback has when you've inculcated feedback in your parenting style. Just like you, ma'am, I'm a very assertive person. In fact, I fear the fact that I know they get fear. Whoever you are, I can look you in the eye and talk and waka pass. So I have raised my children, especially my daughters. I'm from northern Nigeria, where women are supposed to be less. So I raised my daughters to stand firm and speak, but with respect. So when my daughter told me that, I didn't have a problem with it. I said, thank you for telling me how you feel. And I said, let's turn this into a session. How do you think I can spend time with my own children and stop neglecting my own? And we came up with a plan. She said, at least once a month, like you used to do before, let's have a day out. So I spend quality time with my kids at least once a month. Sometimes we don't go out. I have inculcated Friday dinner in my home. Every Friday is special in my home because when I get back home, any training you want me to do, online class, Friday, no. Except, of course, you're going to give me a hell lot of money. But most times I say no to Friday nights because on Fridays we have a meal together. We don't eat semo on Friday. God forbid bad thing. On Friday we eat jollof rice with salad and ice cream or cake. And we set the table. My youngest daughter will put a name on the plates for seating arrangement. But what is key for me on Friday is I finally see my children. I'm being honest with you. During the week, okay, bye-bye. But I really don't see them. But on Friday evening, we sit, we eat, and then I look at each of them in the eye and ask them, how are you? While maintaining eye contact. How was your week? It happened, this happened in the school, and then it will go. Then I'll move to the next person. How was your week? And he will share to everyone on the table. And then my favorite part, they now say, Didi, how was your week? I will start to go. They will say, okay, it's okay, because I am a talker, so I keep talking. So I am intentional about quality time. I take them out once in a while. Either we go to the cinema, but we move from one restaurant to another. Anybody who follows me on Instagram knows me and my love journey with food. So I would give myself a 6. That's how it works. So grade yourself. Quality time. Not the one that you're with them and you are receiving calls. The rule for Friday dinner in my home is no gadget. We put all our phones on silent and we have a meal and talk to each other. So I will give myself a 6. Check yourself. If you deserve a 7 or an 8, put it. If it's a 2 or a 0, auntie, put it. Because if you do a self-reflection and you know where you are, you can begin to do what is necessary to move up. Am I making sense? I'm moving to outdoor fun. Last month, I took them to, what's the name of that place, Rama? Nanias. There's a place in Wuse too, that you go with your phone case and you create a phone case for yourself. It's super fun. It's in Wuse too. They don't have phones, they have iPads. So we went with their iPads and they created, and then we made, what do you call this thing? This thing that holds your phone, bead, a bead. The one you put here. No, the other one. Where's my iPhone? No, apart from the beads, the one that you put on your phone, that you hold your phone with it. Yeah, that rope thing. I don't know the name. So we did that, and it was super fun. When we finished, we went to have a meal. So I would give myself, and this is after sitting with my daughters, and we agreed once a month we'll do something like that. So I would give myself an 8. So this is 8. This is what? Rapport. Rapport is the act of building trust and connection, learning to speak to your kids and understanding them, allowing them to speak back. Definitely, I know I'm good with rapport. I'll give myself an 8 as well. Listening, or more, I'm struggling here. I still don't listen very well. So I'll give myself a 4. Feedback. I'm definitely open to feedback. My kids know they can tell me how they feel with common sense. Because you get person who go and say something, you will get knock for head. But you're allowed to speak. But depending on what you say, you may get a knock on your head or an applause. So I'll give myself an 8 as well. Communication. I am still not sure about this, to be honest. I think I communicate to an extent. Yes. No, them ability the parents will always give feedback now, but them ability for them to have room to tell me how they feel, give me feedback, is them. It's about them, not you. Communication. I still struggle with communication, I think, because my village people are doing me here. Because I am still, I'm to an extent, the way our parents raised us has not moved from my body. So communication for me is a bit dicey, so I think I'll give myself a 4. I'm not really excelling in this place. Empathy. I'm an emotional intelligence coach, so I think I get more sense, to be honest. And I've always said, treat people how you want to be treated. One of the quotes I teach my children every day, which is my mantra, is a hadith that says, you are not a true believer until you love for your brother what you love for yourself. And then in Christendom, it said, be your brother's keeper, right? So I think, for me, empathy, I'm big on empathy, so I also give myself an 8. The last one, meals. When was the last time you had a meal with your children? Yeah? When? Yesterday? Tuesday? At home. Eatery is once in a while. Can you still afford to be eating outside in this country right now? Okay. Things hard, shall. So, I'm talking about a meal at home. We have 3 meals in a day. Have you singled out one day, at least in a week, that you sit with your family and have a meal together without TV, without gadgets? Every day you sit with, guy, that's fine. How old are your kids? It's easier. When they were 5, I was doing that with them too. When you move up to 21, it's not that easy. But well done. So, when was the last time you had a meal with your kids? So, fantastic. So, yes? Until we never reach, the matter don't finish. A toddler, there is no way you can get her feedback. So we're talking about, it has to be someone who is older, who you've had conversations with, to be honest. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So, for meals, I think I'm intentional about that as well, so I think I give myself a 7. So let me explain to you what this is. This is now my life will, my parenting life will. So it has become this. Okay. This is the wheel. So you connect it. Can you see? Which means at the end, this is what you're supposed to do. After you've graded yourself, you now connect it. A wheel is supposed to be a circle, isn't it? Does this look like a circle to you? Fantastic, which means I have challenges. To be honest, I don't think there's anybody who can have a circle. Why? Because we are imperfect. The idea behind this is not to seek perfection, it's to create awareness. If you are honest with yourself, I can do this easily because this is what I teach. So somehow, in my small mind, I still practice it small. But for someone who has never done this before, you have a rude awakening. You realize, what the heck have I been doing? And then you begin to become intentional about where you need to make changes in your busy schedule. Creating time, yes. Feedback. Feedback, like I said, one day my daughter walked in and told me, I'm busy helping other people's children, ignoring my own. And when she told me, now, if it was my parent, I'm sure a slap will land, I'll see thunder. Right? But for me, I have raised my children to understand that feedback is the breakfast of champions. To excel, I believe to excel in life, I need to get a feedback. Just like they're going to give you feedback sheets now to tell me how this session went for you, what I can do better, and what you think was great. So that's basically feedback. The ability to actually listen to something contrary to you or your opinion and being okay with it. Wallahi, I was not angry with my daughter when she said that. In fact, it woke me up. Because can you imagine being told you are busy helping other people's children, ignoring your own? It takes courage to say that. And it takes sense to accept it and do something different. So this is basically it. You don't have to finish this now. It's just for you to have an idea, because we cannot have enough time for you to do everything on the sheet. Can I have a sheet, please? Okay, thank you. So that's the parenting wheel. Now, if you see behind it, from your parenting goal, after the realization you have here, you will now move to this part. This category, quality time. You see, the difference between training and coaching is this. You can go to a place and sit down and listen, and go, oh my God, coach, that woman sabi, and that's it. You walk through that door, everything you heard, everything you learned will leave there. But when you do coaching, you begin to hold yourself accountable. This is what we need you to do. Taking responsibility for your part as a parent right here before you go home. Because the mind is powerful. We talk about the power of the subconscious mind. Because when you begin to reflect and tell us, okay, so this is what I'm doing. I can do different though. And then you begin to write it. The connection between your hand, your writing, and your brain. What am I doing well? So in the part of quality time, how have you been doing? Am I doing it well? Have I been spending time with my children? You see, spending time watching football is not the one we're talking about. Oh. Spending time on your phone, you're all sitting in the parlor, everybody's browsing their phone. That is not what we are talking about. Quality time is you having a conversation, listening, giving feedback, paraphrasing what your child says. Are you doing it well? How are you doing it well? Are you doing more of the listening, less feedback? Or more of the feedback, not listening? Where do I need to improve? It's holding yourself accountable. So then you create a goal here. What I will do differently. I have not been having quality time with my children because I'm the Inspector General of Nigeria. I'm Legislator General of Nigeria. I'm Minister, whatever it is you are. Thank you. That is the reason why you are not doing it. But I want to start to have some time. So I'm going to create Saturday. One Saturday in a month. You have 4 Saturdays. I'm giving an example. I want to be intentional about my kid. So I'm going to take 1 Saturday off and come for a PTA meeting. You can start with that. After that, I will take them for a meal. Not Mr. Biggs anymore. Old school. What do we have now? SFC, KFC, Burger King. Waka go there. Pizza Hut. I don't like that pizza. Oh, sorry. So, then active presence. Like I said, you being there with your child while you are browsing and going all over your phone is not being there. That's not active presence. Active presence, which means you take away your phone, put it on silence, and give your child time. You actually see the child. Are you doing it? No. Where do I need to improve on that? Okay, when I come back home, at least I will put away my phone for 1 hour before my kids go to bed. I will see them, ask them how was school today. I'm giving an example. Or I have to wait until Saturday to put my phone off and actually have time. Whatever it is that works for you, I just need you to be intentional and set a goal. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? Am I making sense? Modeling positive behavior. Like I said, kids learn more from what they see us do than what they hear us do. How have you been doing it? Because which means it takes you being intentional now. You have to be intentional about your thoughts, your words, and your action. What have I been saying? What are my kids seeing? How is my thinking pattern? How is that affecting how my kids think? I used to share the story of when my kid was 7. I think I shared it on my Instagram handle. And to God who made me, this is true life story. My son was 7. And then one day he came back and he told me, Didi, Shion is going to hellfire. I said, sure. I saw it shocked me. I said, what? He said, did this show is going to hellfire? And to be honest, for a minute, I paused. He has no business who is going to hell or paradise at his age. I went to an Islamic school as a child, so naturally I took my child to an Islamic school. I'm not faulting my kids' school, but for me it was a wake-up call. I removed my child from that school, and I took him to a Catholic. When we enter, we see Mary. As we enter, it's Catholic Mary that is standing like this. I needed to do that because I'm raising a boy in secular Nigeria. I cannot afford to bring a child who I raise and he will see people and he sees hell or paradise. No, that's not the child I want to raise. Because I realized, okay, perhaps because he did pre-nursery, he did nursery, he did primary in that school, so all his friends were Muslims. Or more, I received sense. I went to FGGC Nibusa. My best friend was Fortubere and Lillian. When I went to university, my closest friend was Oluchi. I never saw people and saw ethnicity or religion. I never did. And that was the beauty of federal government schools then. We were just girls in a school. And then I had a son who was seeing people going to hell. Olomaje. God forbid bad thing. Now, some people may fault this. That's okay. That's where you are in your life. This is where I am in my life. I needed to raise a son who is Nigerian. At 8, worrying about who is going to hell and paradise? No. That didn't work for me. So when we moved to Stella Maris, the first friend he had was John. And up to today, they're in university. John is still his friend. And I told my son, I need you to have people in your life who you love and trust, not by their religion, but by their hearts. Good people. We have good Muslims and bad Muslims. We have good Christians and bad Christians. Say amen. Somebody said, Pastor, did he? Okay. Now, creating a safe space for communication. How safe do you think your kids feel with you to say how they really feel? How safe is your home? We don't have enough time. I would have told you a short story about, I'll still say it right away, about children, women who have been abused sexually and who never told anybody. About kids today who have been abused, who have never told anybody because of fear. Have you created a safe space in your home that your child can come and say, Daddy, Uncle did da-da-da-da, or Auntie did that? Have you created that? Or is it a no-go area? Because that's an unfortunate part of our culture. There was a woman who once walked to me and told me that she had never told anybody she was raped at the age of 12. She never told anyone. By who? Not a stranger. Her mother's best friend's son, who was also her neighbor. She entered the house like any normal day. Mommy, uncle. Mommy, they are Yoruba. Mommy has gone out. Yabo, uncle. Yabo has gone out. She just sat down. She didn't even notice when he locked the door. She was 12 years old. She was raped that day. Yes.
Should we feel this cycle with our kids together?
No. This is yours. You could photocopy.
It's not fair. For instance, I put 8, but for him or for her, it's 6.
No, this is still yours. You can do another feedback. It's your feedback with them, but this is holding yourself accountable. But you can also talk to them and ask them for their feedback. Yeah. And that day she was raped. And he told her if she told anybody, he would kill her. He was like 18, she was 12. She said she went back to school that term and failed woefully. She failed every course. She came back home, they beat shaggy out of her. Nobody asked her, what is wrong? It's a student who is a good student, who made A's and B's, now has F's. And the parents didn't think to ask what could be wrong. She said she was lucky she didn't get pregnant. She had to repeat JS2 because throughout that year, she was traumatized. But she told no one. Do you know how many people are living with that story? And how it affects who they are and their parenting? So what space have you created for your child to be able to tell you, one uncle looked at me funny? Wallahi, when my daughters tell me they feel uncomfortable with you, that's it. You don't have to touch them. If they feel uncomfortable in your presence, Oma, you are gone. That's how it works. because I made it okay for my daughters to tell me who makes them comfortable and uncomfortable. Women, we feel that thing. Wallahi, when a woman feels uncomfortable, they feel it for body. Am I wrong? There is a look, there is an attitude that you feel it in your body that is not right. Even girls feel it. So having conversations about things like that is important. So have you had that conversation? Or at least have you had someone talk to your child? Because as somebody say they will die before they say it. You have an aunt, you have a friend, talk to the kid how they feel and what's going on. Have you created that? Teaching resilience. The number of kids today who are on drugs, the number of kids who are on drugs will shock you. Vape, you know vape now? Yeah. Then they do them. And most times it's because of challenges in life. The ability to bounce back from challenges has a lot to do with your self-esteem and sense of self, which is instilled in upbringing in childhood. How often have you had conversations with your children about resilience? About the fact that life does happen. Things happen to you without you seeing. My son sent me a picture one day. A bird pooped on his head. And he took a picture of it and sent it to me. He was just walking on the street and whoop, it pooped. That's life. So life happens. Have you taught children to know that they can fall down and crawl back up? Do you have conversations like that? Or do you let them believe that when they get down, they will never get up? So ask yourself, and what do you need to improve? And then your parenting style. This is why I need your protection, sir. MD, I need protection right now. Okay, I'm protected. Talk to yourself. I'm not pointing at anybody. Talk to yourself. If it is your village people that are doing you, tell them it has to stop today. You know, we are used to blaming village people. It's the devil. Well, the devil is a liar. How have you been parenting? Are you even actually parenting? Really? Are you really parenting? Do you have conversations? Do you even know your kids? To God who made me, there are parents who have brought their kids to me, and what the kid is telling me is totally different from what the father is saying. And they say, please don't tell him. Because you already have you've imagined this kind of child that you did not raise. Because the child that is standing is one you raised. But you expect perfection from this child of yours, and he has not seen perfection from you. You make a child feel he is terrible or he's wrong because he has made one mistake in his life. Let's not go into the mistakes you have made. If we are all going to be crucified for our mistakes, there will be nobody in this room. There will be. Who hasn't made a mistake? The ability to come back from mistake is what is important. Resilience. I used to think that my greatest undoing in my life, to be honest, was I thought that if my children fail in life, I have failed as a parent. So it made me extra vigilant, and I was overworking myself until I received sense. My kids will make the mistakes they are going to make, regardless of what I do. My job is to teach them what is right, show them what is right as best as I can with all my faults and mistakes. And they will make their own mistakes. And I will be okay with it. I tell my son, I am always right here when you need me. Regardless, if you kill person, come, I'll be right here. We will go to the police station together. If you jam person with motor, come, we will go and report it at the police station together. So I have told them through thick and thin, I will be right here. And when I began to do that, I began to have some peace. Because you, as mothers, we lie that you cannot sleep. You are worried about children. They will not kill me. I made a decision. They will not kill me. I will do my best. Then make dua, make prayer. I keep praying. Because they will make mistakes. It's important to understand that whoever you are, no matter how well you parent your children, they will make mistakes. Life is not about the mistakes we make. Life is about how we come back from those mistakes. Because life is not about what has happened to you.
Life is about the decision you make. What you do, what you choose to do with what has happened to you. Thank you so much for your time. I don't know if I have any questions. A standing applause. Oh yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. Umele. Until stand up, you waiting. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See, it's not easy to stand and talk for 2 hours. Oh, thank you.
Well done.
Thank you very much. Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to bully. So I don't know now, sir, if you have any questions. Thank you. Questions, please. Remember, we have, I don't know how many minutes we have. Quickly, yeah, please. Oh, 1 minute. She has already said. Where's the microphone, please? 1 minute. Yes. Yeah, okay. 1 minute, sir. Okay. Please, we're going to give you a feedback sheet. You know, feedback is the breakfast of champions. So my assistants are going to give you a feedback sheet. Just tell me what you think of the session, what I can do differently, and what you think we may have to emphasize on another time, if you don't mind. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mrs. Ahmad Rufai. Thank you, Coach Didi, for the session. It was quite, I don't know, interesting and eye-opening. King Hadu, yes, that's true. I would like to ask a question. In the course of the conference, when you started, you spoke about your son who was interested in having a particular hairstyle. And because of course, where we come from, the North, Muslims, you know, there are things that outrightly, let me say, not acceptable, frowned upon. So I just want to ask, how did you come back from that? He wanted to do it. You initially thought, oh, how are you going to have this kind of hairstyle? But because sometimes we need to let, as long as it's not something that is very, very dangerous to the children, we let them have a feel of it so they can learn, and maybe by themselves they realize that there's actually no biggie about this thing, so why the force in the first place? And then they let go when you give them that chance. So I'd just like you to take a few minutes to tell us if your son ever got over wanting to braid his hair, and how did you help him, or how did he get over that?
Okay, I'm going to share that quickly.
Yeah, because I have similar situations.
No problem. Let me share it with you.
I have all boys.
I hope you do better than I did anyway.
Thank you very much.
Now, when he told me he wanted to make his hair, honestly, I didn't like it. But I said, is this something you need to do? He said, yes. He may get it out of his system after doing it. And I said, okay. I said it reluctantly because I have small sense. My son is in Portsmouth. He's in university in the UK. I'm right here in Nigeria. He could have made his hair and wear a beanie every day. I wouldn't have known. So I had to thank God that he is okay with asking me first before actually doing it. So it was just common sense. I just said, Ummi, respect yourself. Let me talk to myself by myself. If he's even seeking your permission, respect yourself and say yes. So when he did, to be honest, I felt a bit easier because I wasn't with him. But that summer, I went to see him. I had a training in the UK, so I went. And when he came to see me, I'm sharing this with you to be honest, there were some of the participants that came from Nigeria, from Katsina. And they were sitting, about 4 middle-aged men. And I was sitting at another table. Then my son walked in. And then I stood up, I hugged him, and we sat down. I could see judgment. Wallahi. You know when, like, disgust. Wallahi. I may have read it, I don't know whether, but that was how I felt. And then my son leaned closer and said, Didi, I can feel judgment all around me. I said, I feel it too. And then he laughed. As he was speaking to me, to be honest, I know we teach no need for external validation. It's easier said than done. But I felt a tingle. Did I do the right thing? It's just hair, yes. But the judgment I felt from those, they were even older than me. I think the only one maybe was in his 40s. The others were maybe 50 above. And I know how people from that part of the country, I'm from Niger State, so we are not central, we're a little more liberal, they say. So I could feel that judgment. But then I asked myself, what's really more important to me? I need a son who can tell me when he wants to do certain things. So he did it. And I moved on from it. But to be honest, most of the time when I'm speaking to him, I don't see his face, I see his hair. Most of the time to God, I try to tell myself, but I just keep looking. Is it really my child? You know? But I lived with it. So if he wants to make his hair, sis, let him. Let him. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Like I said earlier, my child is a toddler. She's just 2.
Okay.
But I'm glad I came for this session. My question is more of a challenge. I know certain things about impacting right and wrong understanding on children. I've probably been around more children than I have had a child, longer than I have had a child, so I've tried in that aspect. But my question now is with my child, it's more of, when do I start teaching this? When do I start showing this? When do I start letting her know that she needs to pray? When do I start letting her know she needs to be more kind or share and things like that? And it's a great challenge. So I don't know if there is any tip I can pick to know.
Okay. Ma'am, for me, I would say, I'm a mental health coach, so I'm not into child development per se, but I can tell you from my experience as a mother, there is no right time. From the child being 2 years old, you can say, wouldn't you share with mommy? It's nice to share with mommy. I started teaching my kids good touch and bad touch, I think when they were 4. Who is supposed to touch you here and here? And if you're not comfortable, I started when they were 4 or 5. So there is no time. Upbringing is something like, I told you, this is a programming. Because whatever you program into your child now will last for the rest of her life. She can unlearn some, but it's there in her subconscious mind. So I don't think you should worry about what time it is. You want to start doing it now? Start. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So I have 2 questions, but just a reflection on the time. There are age-appropriate messages, right?
Yeah.
You know, so my daughter came from school, and she laid on me and was doing like this. I said, what is that? She said sex. And she was like 3 or so then. She said sex. I said, where did you learn it from? She said, they talk about it in the school. So I took time to start, educating her at that age to know parts of her body, where she should be touched, where if she's touched, she should tell her teacher if it's in the school, she should tell me or her mom if it's at home, or her brother, because her brother is much older. He has like a 10 years, 11 years gap. So there are age-appropriate messages. I didn't build on sex, what sex was and all of that. That wasn't the appropriate time. But I needed to tell her how to protect her body and what to do if anybody, and I insisted it was anybody, irrespective of age and all of that. So if we don't start on time, the risk is that they would have been exposed before we now start doing damage control. So the earlier, the better, but there are appropriate messages that you provide. So my question is this. Are there times where you have to insist that these children don't have their way? Because just yesterday, I was having a conversation with my 16-year-old. He's preparing for exams, and I needed him to focus on his study. And so I gave him some conditions that if he fails to meet those conditions, I will seize all the gadgets in his life and make sure he focuses squarely on his study. And I insisted that from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, he has to study. And I gave him certain conditions. And he was asking me why. And I said, I don't care how you feel. I don't care. He said, you don't care how I say yes. On this, I don't care how you feel, but you will come back to thank me when you pass your exams and you get admission into the higher institution. And I gave example of all his friends. I called their names. I said, would you want any of them to leave you behind? Or would you want to leave any of them behind? So I insisted that I told him I used those words. As harsh as it might sound, I said, I don't care. And I can't remember how many times I said it. Because I was vexed. I was angry. I was really angry. And I told him, I don't care how you feel. On this particular one, you must do it this way. The second question is around the hair thing. It's been a battle. Even NTIC, it was a challenge, but we had to meet at some point. Because I also keep setting, though my hair is eating up now. So I try to, so for me, I needed him to look in a particular way, but the school wanted him to, So we sorted it out. That is over. He wanted to now braid. And I said, I'm sorry, you can't. He gave me an example of other children who braided their hair and were still okay. And when on the TV, he would tell me how successful. I said, but like Mrs. Ajani said earlier on, I said, this is not our culture. He said, but Dad, I thought you were better than that.
Emotional blackmail?
Yes, exactly. I thought you were better than that. You are exposed, you travel, you do this. I said, yes, I do. But at your age, I am not comfortable. I also told him how vulnerable I was. I said, what do you think you will look like, or I will be the father of someone who is looking in a certain way? So somehow, we battled that. He did not end up braiding the hair. But once in a while, he still asks if he can do it. And I kept telling him, at this age, no. And I insisted he cannot do it. So are there times where you insist and you do not give a damn?
Yes.
What? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
It's just that we just don't say we don't care. That's the only difference, yeah. There are times you put your foot down and you leave it down. The thing about, like I said earlier, our kids today are raised in an environment they ask questions. Is there anybody's child who has not said why? Yeah. You ask them to do something, they'll say why. Then you tell them why. It's easier for me to say this because this is what I do for a living. I'm a coach. My mother, I never even asked my mother why before, because I'm sure a slap will land on my face. So when our kids ask us why, tell them why. It's just as simple as that. I need you to study hard and pass your examination. It's important. You may not understand it now, but you will thank me later. If you are struggling between studying and your gadgets, do you think you'll be able to concentrate and study? Ask him the question. Yes, Daddy, I can do it. I don't think so. I don't think you'll be able to create a balance between your studies and your work. But let's have a deal. I'm always having deals with my children. Let's do this. If you are able to do da-da-da-da, I will do da-da-da. Learn to shift ground. You have to learn to shift ground. Like I told you, even my kid braiding hair, I didn't like it though. I didn't like it. And it's easier for you because you did right in front of your face. If your kid is no longer under your roof, it will be more difficult. And what is important is to have a relationship with your child that they tell you when they want to do things. It's important. I'm afraid we cannot take more questions. If you have another question, you can please, oh, sorry, okay. The last question, please.
Oh, I'm having the last one. Okay, good. I just look at the setting here, and I want to ask those who organize this event, how many people they invited? And then how many turned out? You will see, maybe if we count by the number of seats, we see people that have missed a lot from this parenting guide. So I want to congratulate you for what you have done to us today. That is for those of us who are here. I think we have learned a lot and a lot and a lot. And those who are not here, they have missed a lot and a lot and a lot. Yeah, well, I think, yes, online is good, but in person, I think there is a difference.
Okay.
Apart from this, I have three maybe observations to make. If you look at that, your wheel, three items struck me that they are like maybe interrelated. They don't need to stand alone. Maybe this is my feedback. Communication, feedback, and listening. I think in one way or another, they are all related. If we are communicating, then I will get feedback. And while I'm communicating, I'm listening. And I'm sending message. So maybe those three, you have to find maybe a way to accommodate them such that they don't stand alone. Because they are just one and the same thing. That's one observation. Two, Madam over there, she spoke about our culture. And then you seem to have spoken so much about today. How do we maybe balance this? We are a product of culture. And this culture, you can say, starts today and it ends, it started yesterday and it's ending today, and then modernity starts now. So how do you maybe balance the need of our culture? Because you can't simply condemn completely the culture that we have. There are silent ones that are very, very important and that we have to maintain and perhaps marry them with the modern day. Now, at what point will you say, I will have to insist on being modern, even though I am in the presence of people who do not share the values of modernity? They are with the past. I'll give you an example. The one you mentioned about you being from Niger State, so I guess you are Nupe.
No, I'm Gwari.
Okay. Even if you are not, I know that there is some joking relationship between Katsina and Niger State. Now, you went to Katsina, your son came, and you felt you have to hug him in the presence of people who are maybe, who have maybe this generational difference. Do you think you are right by doing that in the presence of people who do not belong to your generation or the generation of your child? That's where I see maybe the challenge of modernity and culture. You have to balance it and then get to know whether this is the right place or this is the right audience to exhibit your inclination towards modernity or your abhorrence to maybe culture. Sorry, I'm using strong language, but I think, yes, we need to balance that modernity, what is required, and then we look at the good things that are there. I'm not saying all those values of ours are right today. They may not be, but we should sift out. Then, I think someone also mentioned something about maybe parenting. Now I came with some old ideas here. And then I have learned new ideas. But my children, they have grown already. They are already. So my question is, when do we start? And then when do we end this parenting business? Thank you.
Thank you very much. When do you start? Right now. You start right now. No, they are older, but they are still your kids. What kind of relationship do you have with them? What kind of relationship do you want to have with them? So it starts right now, and it never ends until death. It doesn't end. And secondly, about the hugging. It wasn't in Katsina. They were from Katsina. It was in London. They came from Katsina. I came from Abuja, but we met in London. And the thing about a sense of self is the way I parent my children is my business. I hug my kids. In fact, as a Muslim, I took it from the Sunnah that says the Prophet used to kiss his children every day. So I have inculcated it in my children. My children kiss my forehead. When my son meets me now, when he hugs me, he kisses me on my forehead. He's 21 years old. Because that's the culture I choose to use. And the thing is, you see, the thing about when we say we are going to live life according to other people's culture or beliefs, then we will not live. I've always believed as long as what you're doing is not haram or is not vulgar. We have women today. I'm a mental health coach, and most of my emphasis is women mental health. Women who complain that men are not empathetic, they are not loving because they were not raised that way. I have always said, there's a video I shared on my Instagram handle. I dream of the day that one day 2 young women are going to kiss me on my cheeks, give me a hug, and say, "Thank you, Didi, you raised them right." That's my dream. If I want to raise a man who has empathy, I have to show him empathy. If I want to raise a man who is going to be the husband to a young, lucky girl someday, I have to show him what it is to be okay with being vulnerable and showing love. Yes, it's not our culture in northern Nigeria, but it's an Islamic culture. I'm Muslim. And most importantly, that's what I choose. I was a hopeless romantic as a child. I read M and B's. You know, even during exam, you put M and B in your notebook and you pretend to be reading. So I love love. I love the idea of love. And I have this mental picture of this ideal man, which I didn't find, by the way, because he doesn't exist. But I do know that my role as a parent is going to play a huge role in my son's life and the kind of husband he's going to become. I may not be right, but this is what I want to create. This is what I want to develop. If we say we are going to go with every other person's idiosyncrasies of what is right or what is wrong, then we're not living. So it all depends on you and what you want to create, the kind of child you want to raise. It's really on you. The third one, that's the two. I can't remember the other one. Time? Okay, the wheel. The wheel is not my doing. Yeah, it's not me. It's from my training. I got it from me, but I will still look at it again And see, but I think it was, the idea behind it is to be specific so that I can choose one area at a time. But I'll still take a look at it again, sir. I think that's it. Oh, okay, you want to quickly, yes, sir. Yes, sorry?
Maybe if the audience will indulge me,
Okay.
then I will make a request on what you have said. You see, for me, I'm not condemning what you're hugging your child. No, not at all. I'm just talking of the context and the environment.
It was in London.
That's just what I was saying about.
Yeah.
Not that, what you did was wrong, was un-Islamic, this, no.
No, I know, sir.
Not at all. But rather, you have to be conscious of your environment, because that day, when you made that hug, it was like a judgment day on you, and you felt it. They judged you, and you felt it. And I was saying, no, maybe think about the environment. It helps.
Yeah.
Now, he talked about braiding, hairstyle.
Yeah. It was the hairstyle, actually.
He was talking about the hairstyle and the rest of them, that maybe this is not our culture or this or that. Now, I listened accidentally. I listened to one posting, I think, on the internet. One sheikh there was talking about this braiding of hair. And he said, as far as Islam is concerned, if we are now talking about religion, braiding the hair by a man is not haram, it's not un-Islamic. So it is basically maybe a northern Nigerian culture.
Yes.
Not Islamic, because the Prophet himself did that to himself. So why will anybody say, oh no, we will not allow my child to do that? And this brings me to the point that we have to be conscious of our environment and the audience. If the whole audience maybe is learned, maybe they are not illiterate, they know about this. How many people, how many Muslims do know that you can braid your hair as a man? How many? Maybe not much. So maybe this is the context and the environment. The audience is very important, and the environment is very important. Maybe I may sound conservative about it, but I am also being realistic and being real. That yes, we want to move at a particular speed to change our environment, but we have to know that yes, people are listening, and they are also ready to take the step to change.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I'm sorry we have to.
Sorry, this one, what I'm about to talk about or share with us parents here, does not really have so much to do with what we've talked about, but at the same time, is also about intentional parenting. Please, I noticed one thing about a lot of parents here, and I'm so glad that this is a great opportunity to be able to reach out to everyone. Most of us send our children to school with our drivers, our house helps. And there has been reports that these children have been abused physically. And when you have little children being abused and fear being instilled in them by our assistants, let me use the word to be kinder, they bow to whatever these assistants ask them to do. So it opens up the doors to sexual abuses. These days, it's not only female children that are being sexually abused, male children are also being sexually abused. And from what I understand, here in Abuja, about 40% of us mothers still live in the days of old, where most of us are actually probably full-time housewives, and we wake up in the home doing nothing at home. I implore every one of us, as mothers, as fathers, please, if it is possible, you should come to school with your drivers, please, so that these children will not be left in the hands of very evil and wicked assistants that probably are lashing out on the children, probably for your own wrongdoing. So that is what I am here to share with you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to close with this. I forgot to introduce the parent-child communication cards. Like I told you, when I made those cards for the rapport building cards, I made it for adults, for children. Let me sell markets, right? So I also made the rapport parent communication. Sometimes parents say they don't know what exactly to say to their kids, how to communicate. So there are cards available for that, right? Just see me after see Rahama. Rahama is my assistant. You can come just middle of that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. Can I remove it now?
Okay, I believe she deserves a standing ovation. She does that. So let's appreciate Coach Didi. Thank you so much. I would have loved, okay, now we have our attention. Coach Didi, thank you so much for this enlightening, informative, and engaging session with you. I can say for sure that you were made for this. Thank you so much. Very interactive session indeed. I think that the topic of parenting is very sensitive and it's not something we can finish in few hours. But we have taken a lot with us. And the most important thing is to relearn, unlearn, and effect the changes we need to effect as parents. So our time is fast spent. We're not going to be here for so long. But as she was speaking, Mrs. Moreni Keji Abdulaziz, the PT executive member, Abuja co-ed, walked in, and I think that it's proper that we recognized her. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you. And thank you for your insightful contributions too. Thank you, Mr. Abdul Salam Ahmed Adeyemi. You gave me every other person's name but didn't include yours. We recognize you as the organizer of this show. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to the session of raffle draw and games for parents. It is important that everyone collects a particular number on the front desk. So if you don't have a number, please do yourself the favor of getting one because you might just leave with a gift this afternoon. So if you came in without a number, please talk to those at the front desk and they will give you one. Thank you so much. Miss Gloria, please, over to you.
All right. I believe we've had fun and we've learned as well. And so the management has designed something in appreciation for our parents for your time. So it's the raffle draw. How many of us still have our numbers with us? Aha, you know your numbers, right? And so inside this beautiful plate, I have some numbers I'm going to be calling out quickly. So once you hear your number, it's been randomly selected. Nobody knows anybody. Nobody knows. Aha. So once you hear your number, quickly come on stage. We have a little token for you. I hope that's fine. Are we ready? Oh, okay. I just learned that some of us had to go and pick our numbers. Are we ready now? Yes, yes. So the first number I have here, number 21. Please, a round of applause for number 21. Who is that? Please show us. So 21. All right, let me drop that. The next I have here, number 20. Who is that? Hey, please let's clap for her.
Okay, to present it to her, I think. Mr. Erdal, can you do us the honors of presenting this gift to her? Thank you so much. Thank you. The next gift.
right, so I'm going to be picking another one. It's very transparent, no mago inside. And we have number 13. Who is number 13? Okay, I'm going to be picking another one. Let's see, who do we have here? Number 18. Number 18, are you here? Please, let's celebrate them now. It's not easy to get lucky. Yeah, thank you for... Should I continue? All right. Please come on stage, ma. Number 18, come with your number, please. We want to be sure. Yes, the next winner is number 43. Number 43, are you here? Number 43. Aww. Okay. Oh. Next I have here is number 3. Number 3, are you here? Raffle ticket. Oh, where are we? Okay, I pick another one. Number 1. Wow. Who is number 1? He wants to confirm. Oh, please, let's clap for him, sir. We are He's coming. Yes, please keep clapping. It's not easy to get lucky. Yes. On the raffle still, I have number 10. Who is number 10? Hey, please clap for her. I want to pick another one again. And I have number 57. Who is 57? Number 57. Yes, that's number 10. Please, let's keep clapping now. It's not easy to get lucky. Aww. Okay, I picked another one. 57? Okay. Next here, I have number 38. Who is 38? Who is... Okay, number 38. Nice one. Tickets are going down. Number 32. Are you here? 32. Oh, there she goes. Please, let's clap for her. Hey, NTIC raffle draw. Next, I have number 15. Who is number 15? 15. Oh, there she goes. Oh, don't worry. I'm calling your number next. Just check. I have number 44. Who is 44? Number 44. Number 44, are you here? Is that you? Oh, please, let's clap for her. Next is number 11. Number 11, are you here? Number 11, please check. Oh, I thought I was going to call your number now. I don't know. Let's see what we have next. Number 23. Who is 23? Number 23, please check. Okay, number 23 is not there. Next we have number 9. Number 9. Hey! Nice one. Oh, somebody is saying it could be number 8. This is definitely... It's going, it's gone. I also have number 17. Who is number 17? Hey! She's right there. Okay, oh. I want to continue, so I'm not looking. You should just see. I'm not looking. I don't know why I'm not picking my number. Number 47. Number 47, okay. How many more gifts do we have there? Okay, 5 more. Number 55, are you there? 55. 4 more to go, 4 more to go. Oh, 4 more. Number 55, are you there? Okay. I'm picking another one. What's this? Number 48. Oh, she's been expecting it. 48 is coming. Okay. 2 more. I'm about to call 2 more tickets, and that will be it. Number 33. Who is number 33? Oh. Wow, she's been expecting it. And, okay, 2 more. Okay, I hear we have 3 more chances. Wow, 54. Who is number 54? Oh, congratulations. 2 more, 2 more, 2 more. Who could it be? In fact, I need to pick from the very bottom. What do we have? 27. Number 27. Who is 27? Oh, congratulations. And the very last but not the least. This is in fact, the luckiest person of this raffle draw. Number 9. Sorry, number 6. Number 6. So both of them now they are settled. Yeah, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you, NTIC, for this wonderful raffle draw. Nice one. Okay, so quickly we're moving on to presentation of certificates. Right? Yes, I have some announcement. Before that. Oh, please, can you help me check that form? There's something. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's not here. Okay. Now you see the benefit of being here in person. Okay. So there are 8 certificates here that will be presented by the MD to the participants. After the program, please feel free to approach your school. If you registered online, yours is available at the desk, at the front desk. You can do well to get it from the people there. But if you registered in person, please do well to contact your school. Abuja Girls VP, Mr. Ibrahim. For primary, Ms. Hawa, the secretary. For boys, Mr. Roman. And for co-ed, Mr. Afiz. Thank you. I hope that was clear. Online registration, your certificates are ready. You can get them on your way out. If you registered in person, please be in touch with your school heads. Thank you so much. So it's my pleasure to call on the MD, Mr. Faizullah Bilgin, to present these certificates to the participants here. Thank you so much. Can we please give him a big hand? Yes, please encourage him. Thank you. Okay. So you can be handing it to him. Yeah. Okay. So these are high table members. That's why they're being presented in this manner. So the first person to be presented is Mrs. Asia A. Umar. Please, can you give her a big hand as she comes to get her certificate? The next person is Mrs. Omolala Ajani. Please appreciate her. Thank you for coming. Thank you for participating.
Then we have Mrs. Samira Yusuf Lawal. Please come up for your certificate. Thank you so much. Can we please celebrate her? Mrs. Sani Balogun Abidemi, can you please do us the honors? Thank you so much. Okay, we crave your indulgence to please hold on. We're closing now. Please, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just hold on a little, just a little longer, and we'll be out of here. Thank you. Mrs. Habiba Ahmed Rufai, thank you so much for coming, ma'am. Mr. Kabiru Bala, I'm sorry if I did not mention the title that is due to you. It's because the names are written, okay? So Ambassador Kabiru Bala, thank you so much, sir. Mrs. Morenike Abdulaziz. Can we appreciate them, please? Thank you. This person, he said he wants it so let's not give him like that. Mr. Ochonye Bartholomew. Mr. Ochonye Bartholomew. And finally, Mrs. Maimuna Rabi Udabo. Thank you so much. Thank you. So we've come to the end of this graceful event. I believe that it was worth our time. To take the closing remarks, I call on Mr. Abdul Salam, Head of Primary Academics, to give us the vote of thanks and closing remarks. Thank you so much. Thank you.
The senior members of the head office, highly respected principals here present and online, very distinguished PTA chairmen and chairpersons, very esteemed parents, dear participating colleagues from online, our very eloquent guest speaker, teachers and friends of NTIC, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being part of this great event. Together, let's change the narratives with positive mind shift and deliberate action towards raising a better generation who will be morally upright, academically excellent, and socially responsible. May God make this conference the source of all gaining paradise and train our children to becoming better, bi-iznillah. Special thanks to our board of directors for their support. The principal from Asokoro, we appreciate your presence and contributions. The Wuse principal, Kaduna, Kanu, Yobe, Abuja, and Lagos for all your contributions, making this a wonderful event. To the local organizing committee, our IT department and the social media department, we say thank you for making it a reality. To everyone who has ensured that the event goes well, the refreshment committee and the rest, we say thank you to you. May God take us home safely. Thank you, and thank you so much. Thank you all.
Myself outside the Sokoto, and I go need your ginger, brother me. I did for you and you did for me. No be today you they cover me, even though we don't see on a regular. I deal with you, my brother. Cash on my shame, we share the money. Everybody is a winner, man. Out there, need open